in your openness to talk to the American people, as I said in introducing you, you and I go back over a quarter century.
Yes.
And if there's anyone that has had open communication, is you and I. Mm-hmm. So are you going to run again in 28?
So, okay,
I tried to be subtle, but I just figured I'd go right there.
Well, that's as subtle as Reverend Sharpton could ever be. We love you for many things, but not being subtle. Listen, I might. I'm thinking about it.
The price of freedom is death. We're coming to get our check.
Black first, my brothers and my sisters, welcome every single last one of y'all. How y'all doing? Okay, we're going to be making some changes, some improvements. I feel like I've been doing a lot, so we're going to get started. Okay, I don't want to keep you guys waiting any longer than I have to, because we got a lot to cover. Now, we're going to be talking about the National Action Network convention. We're going to be talking about what everybody's talking about. Shout out to our brother Melrose. We're going to be really breaking that down. And I want to hear from you all a little bit later if you guys want to, I want to hear what you guys got to say about that a little bit later. But there's so much in this convention that this is not going to be the only time we talk about this. There's just so much to cover. I'm going to be honest. We probably going to be talking about this for a little bit, man. Yeah, but I don't think you guys will mind, because we're going to be doing some very thorough breakdowns and all that stuff. So shout out to y'all. I want to give you guys a round to the early birds. Let's give our early birds a round of applause for being here early. Even though I arguably was on colored people's time, but you guys weren't. So y'all beat me. So appreciate y'all for that. All right. But without any further ado, we're going to go with the first clip. I want to get to the first clip because this is going to lay the foundation for what we discuss later on. This is very important because it's going to set everything up for what we discuss later on. So, okay, we got to lock in. All right, here we go. Going back to it, fair use, all that. I'm going to rewind that because she says some stuff a few minutes beforehand that I find very interesting. About right here. Now, this whole thing's about another hour, hour, but we're only going to get to the last like 10 minutes or so of it. But okay.
Your name got purged from the rolls. Ask today for folks to check on their polling location, because part of what this shell game they've been playing includes closing the place where your mother and your grandmother always voted, so that on election day, she's going to that local elementary school to find out it's not a polling place any longer. So let's do some of the work right now. Then the last point I would say on this, Rev, and I think I know it's a bit controversial, but here's how I feel about this. You know how I was talking earlier about how people are so transactional? I think we need to be transactional voters. I think, yes, it is right when we are trying to get folks to register to vote and to go vote. And it is absolutely right that we remind everyone of our history, especially when they're trying to erase it. We remind people of the lives, the bloodshed on the Edmund Pettus Bridge, the sacrifice of those young people at the lunch counter. The assassination of Dr. King. There are so many things that we must remember about history, so that what compels us to vote includes not only our civic duty, but honoring the ancestors. Yeah.
Okay. Here's the thing. She's not referring to her ancestors. And this is why, we've had a thing, honestly, and this is something that we're going to have to stop doing. And the reason why we're going to have to stop doing it is because it's becoming a problem, a big problem, where people use terms like the ancestors as if we have this universal lineage. and y'all get to just pick which ancestors y'all choose at whatever time is convenient for you guys. And then this leads to our exploitation and misrepresentation. So when you're talking about, and all of our, the ancestors, what do you know? There isn't the ancestors, because if that's the case, everybody in the world has the ancestors. We can all say the ancestors. What does that mean? People who lived before we did? Like, what does that mean? We have to be specific. She's invoking things about our ancestors. Now, I want you to think about this. When she says we should be transactional voters, I agree. I'm very transactional when it comes to the ballot box. I don't care if it's Democrat. I don't care if it's Republican. The price is the price. If I was a car salesman and I got a car for $1 million, a nice, good, fresh, super fast Lamborghini, and I'm selling it for $1 million. I don't care if you're a Democrat. I don't care if you're a Republican. I don't care if you're independent. I don't care, young, old, male, female, gay, straight, whatever. You paying the full price for this mug. You paying 100% of it. Day one. I'm not doing no, well, I got you back later. We've been doing that. That's been our problem. We've been doing that. We've been, okay, well, you could just put a little bit down. I trust you. Okay. Don't tell nobody. I wouldn't do it for nobody else. And then we calling, they ain't picking up. We calling, they ain't picking up. That's what happened when Joe Biden got in office. If we remember, he got in office, thanked Black America, said, I wouldn't be here without you guys. Then next thing you know, he's not picking up the phone. Made the Congressional Black Caucus feel like a bunch of 304s. Let me be correct. They calling like, I thought he said he liked me. He ain't calling back. They texting. They pulling up at his job. Yeah, like, I thought we had something special. And then he told them, when they finally chased him down, he told him, hey, it's not y'all time. It's Hispanics' time. Y'all gonna have to get in line with Hispanics. They bigger than y'all. It's about them right now. And lo and behold, he proved that his entire administration, didn't he? He proved it. He said it. That's one thing. I give him that. He said it and he meant that. He proved it. So all it is, hey, I got you. Just let me slide a little bit. No. You coming with the price. You coming with the check. And if this check don't, and the check need to clear before you pull off. The check don't clear before I hand you the keys. If the check don't clear, I ain't handing you the keys. That's what it is. And I need every single zero on here. Okay? That's what it is. Now she says we need to be transactional. Then does not, I want you to notice, then does not express what the transaction needs to be. Okay? We're transactional. We were expressing what our transaction needs to be. She's using the term transactional and then stopping short of that, strategically stopping short of that, and then going on to the emotional ties of Dr. King and the N.A.N. Predators Bridge and all of that. The transaction is the check, is reparations. Because if we let them, and it's important that we know this now, because if we let them go on and talk about transaction, what they're going to do is they're going to twist the narrative, and the transaction's now going to be Medicaid and Medicare. And they're going to be like, hey, we want a transaction for our vote. We need something for our vote. So we need some Medicaid, and we need some Medicare, and we need, that's what we need. And we need more DACA programs. Yep, that's what we need. That's going to be that. No. Say the full thing. We have to make sure it's 100% clear. The transaction is reparations. The transaction is the check. You don't just get to say the word transaction and then leave that to be vague and left for interpretation for them, the rest of the shields, to fill in and act as if they're our spokesman and say, yeah, our transaction needs to be getting rid of ICE. That's our transaction. No. Okay. Just notice that she did that.
And here's what I'm suggesting in addition. Get yours. Vote and say, I'm voting because I expect something out of this. You're not going to take for granted that I'm going to vote because I'm a good citizen and it's my civic duty to vote, so that you don't even worry about whether you're producing what I need because, oh, we can count on them to vote because they remember the Edmund Pettus Bridge. I'm saying it's okay to also give people permission to be transactional and to say, if you're going to get my vote, this is what I expect. I'm going to vote because I expect to get something out of this. I'm going to get mine by voting. That's what I would offer. I think it's okay to give people permission to be transactional voters.
I know we are over the time, but I need to ask you this. There was...
What she's doing, before we get to Al Sharpton, what she's doing is she's trying to do damage control for all of the shills. Remember, because it was the Al Sharptons, it was the Roland Martins, it was all of the folk on all of these, you know, Joy Reid and all of them. It was all of them who, when Tiffany Cross, all of them, when we said, hey, we want something in exchange for our vote, all of her supporters told us to shut up. And we needed to just get in line and be quiet. It was the Obamas in them who came out and started wagging their finger at people asking for transactions, okay? All of them were telling us we needed to just shut up. So now, when it comes to her trying to clear stuff up, like I've been saying with the 107-day book that she's been doing a tour, which is a shadow campaign for, what I've been saying is that this is a shadow campaign, and she's trying to take off this jacket that's been put on her. So all of the shields that's been extreme, what they call K-Hive, I think it was, she's trying to, oh, no, it's okay to be transactional because she know that hurt her. But she's still trying to be clever about it.
Slow down, slow down, slow down. I promise Miss Harris a certain time. I'm going to respect the time because I'll need her to come again. This is a convention, not a revival. There was a debated in your campaign in 107 days that whether you should talk to people like Joe Rogan and hard right-wing people in media. If you were to run again, would you talk to them?
Yes, I would. Listen, I will talk with anyone if it means talking with the American people. What I do not believe in, but however, is gatekeepers. I do not believe in the theory some people would push, which is that you got to go talk to that person to talk to the people. I don't believe that. And I don't believe in that. And I don't believe in gatekeepers. So yeah, and I wrote about it in my book about the Joe Rogan piece. But yeah, I'll talk with folks as long as I know that the ability in that moment is to talk to the American people.
So
y'all, that's not gonna happen. That's a lie. That's a lie. First off, she don't need to talk to Joe Rogan. Let's be honest, there are some people who listen to the Joe Rogan podcast. As y'all know, I am not a fan of Joe Rogan. I've expressed that years ago. I made a video that went viral about that. So y'all know for a fact I'm not a fan of Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan don't have no crazy black influence, especially after he compared what black folk to monkeys. Remember his comment calling us the planet of the apes? So yeah, Joe Rogan don't have a lot of black influence like that. She needs her base back. She don't need to, oh, the problem is you didn't talk to Joe Rogan. To hell with Joe Rogan. Honestly. She needs to come here. All right? And the issue is that she's not going to go anywhere where the interviewer is not trying to give her an alley-oop, which is what she was doing her whole campaign. Everywhere she was going, whether that was Al Sharpton, whether that was Roland, whether that was the Breakfast Club, whether that was Call Her Daddy, all of the places, whether that was Oprah, all of the places she was going to were trying to give her an alley-oop. And that's not going to happen over here. Now, if she goes to Joe Rogan, they're probably going to hand him a very nice check and be all like, don't bring this up, don't bring this up, don't bring this up. And then we get post-edit. Okay? That's not going to happen over here. So, yeah, talk to Joe Rogan. That's not going to help you.
In your openness to talk to the American people, as I said in introducing you, you and I go back over a quarter century.
Yes.
And if there's anyone that has had over communication, is you and I. So are you gonna run again in 28?
So, okay,
I tried to be subtle, but I just figured I'd go right
Well,
at it.
that's as subtle as Reverend Sharpton could ever be. We love you for many things, but not being subtle. Listen, I might. I'm thinking about it. But let me say this. Let me say this. I am thinking about it. But let me also say this. Look, I served for 4 years being a heartbeat away from the presidency of the United States. I spent countless hours in my West Wing office, footsteps away from the Oval Office. I spent countless hours in the Oval Office in the Situation Room. I know what the job is. And I know what it requires. I also know, one of the things that I've been doing, Rev, is, is I've been traveling the country the last year. I've been spending a lot of time in the South and many other places. And the one thing I'm really clear about also is the status quo is not working and hasn't been working for a lot of people for a long time. And part of the issue is the need to get rid of some of the bureaucracy in government and to understand that the people they don't want process, they want progress.
Boy, she could have just said, I might, and then just left that there, honestly. Way to fumble the landing. What does this mean? They want change in the status quo, and then been super vague and seemed like she was confused. That's why she can't go on Joe Rogan. Seemed like she was confused about what that means. She could have just stopped. And listen, let me tell you something. And this is something I've been saying for years now, right? When a politician is trying to run, they've already made their minds up. They've already told their campaign. They already got their staff. Do you think when they announced they're going to run, they got their staff and all that stuff the week before? No, they already have that stuff. If she was going to make a run, is the presidency, the election for the next president is in 2 years. You don't think she's made her mind up yet? When is she going to make her mind up? Because she's going to have to start campaigning, which is why I keep saying this is a shadow campaign. It's a campaign that's not an official campaign. It's a book tour, but they're not talking about her book. They're talking about current political issues. They're not talking as if they're just trying to discover what's going on with her book. They're trying to talk to her about what she would do today. This is a campaign that she's on. She's just not officially announced she's running. No politician who's 2 years away has not made their mind up by now. But okay. All right. Now, going to that, I just want you guys to remember that this is the second time that we've seen face-to-face Al Sharpton and Kamala do an interview. Word reparations came up how many times, chat room? How many times did the word reparations come up? Help me remember how many times the word reparations have come up when Al Sharpton and Kamala have done an interview. I want to know how many times it's come up. Exactly. It's come up none. Not one. Zero. Okay? Uno. It's come up not a single time. They have not brought that up at all. Remember that as we move forward. Just remember that as we move forward, y'all. It's come up no time, not once. Not once has that come up. Okay. All right. It hasn't come up. So, all right then. So now what we're going to do, now we're going to get to the main thing. Let the main thing be the main thing. So this happened. This was about because I think this was like a 2-day convention, 2 or 3-day convention. So I guess the last day they had speakers, and sometimes they do that. They have speakers the last day. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna play that, show that. I'm not even sharing the screen, but I am right now. Okay, there we go.
No check.
Hold on,
no
let me take this back.
She got power.
Oh no. Okay. Okay, hold on.
Name and briefly, what's on your mind?
Hey yo, as I look around this room,
First off, and I'm not trying, I want to play it, but did you see the way Melrose grabbed that microphone? You see the way he grabbed the mic like he was trying to pick the mic up. And old boy looked at him like, what are you doing? You see they holding on to the microphone. First off, I want to say, I like the fact that he did that. I like the fact that he did that, because what old boy was going to do is he was going to start pulling the microphone back the second he heard something the room wasn't supposed to hear. But you see, he already knew. That's why when he's looking around. He's not even looking at Melrose. The second he grabbed the mic, he looked like, I don't know if he's supposed to touch the microphone. We might need security. I don't know.
if you're 35
Look, he's looking around like,
old or younger,
okay.
raise your hand.
Just look at his facial expression when he grabbed the mic. He was all smiling. Then he looked like,
Hey yo,
okay.
as I look around this room, if you're 35 years old or younger, raise your hand. 4 people. So here's the thing. Y'all in trouble. Yesterday you had Al Green up here talking about
the reason why, I got to pause this because we got to really break this down thoroughly. The reason why I played the original clip I played first, and I let the camera pan. Well, I didn't let the camera pan. I wasn't there. But I showed the camera panning to all of the people there is to show you how full that room was. That room was full of people. Melrose said all of the people 35 and younger raised their hand, and 4 people out of the room. Let's say there were some people way in the back who raised their hand. 6, 7 people out of that room full of people. Okay. So that means those people are over than 35 years old. Okay. Those people are in their boomer year. They're around Al Sharpton's age range. All right. That room was full of people. And for them to only have a handful of people younger than 40 is a shame.
we need a secretary of reconciliation, and then that's going to include what he said was reparations, which, by the way, wasn't reparations. Reparations is more than a check, but the very first thing it is a check. And come this year during the midterms and in 2028, if you don't have our check, you won't get no vote. No check, no vote. Yeah, I know that ain't what you want to hear, but that's what's happening. All of y'all in here with all due respect.
The fact he said, yeah, I know that's not what. First off, shout out to him for that. Shout out to him for saying that. But the fact that he said, I know that's not what you want to hear. Why? Why should that not be? Now, all of these people in that room swear up and down that they love black people, that they're about black empowerment, that they're trying to do the best for black people. And if he says no check, no reparations, no vote, that shouldn't bother a single soul in that room. All of them should have stood up and gave a round of applause the same way they did when Kamala said that she was thinking about running again. Why did that put a frown on anybody's face? That lets you know the problem, because they'll get out there and they'll be blackity black, and they'll have their shirts with the fist out or a Afro picked out or whatever the case is. But when it comes to actual things that will substantially change the community, change the system, and fix it, repair it, and replace it with evil, with justice, they don't want to stand up for that. They frown upon that. And this lets you know how important it is not to have them represent us.
You're beautiful, but you're old. You're not talking to the youth. You don't know how to talk to the youth. You're trying to tell us what to do. We're not having it no more. So if you want our vote, you got to come with our paper. We're not scared of Trump. We're not scared of anybody. Biden is a racist. Trump is a racist. Kamala is a racist. And if you don't have our money, you don't get our vote. Yeah, not. Who are you? Oh, all right. Yeah. So like I was saying, I'm going to land my plane right.
Hey, he didn't want nothing. Hey, man, and look, now you see he didn't do that with nobody else. You see he didn't do that with nobody else. Or you didn't see I didn't show, but he didn't do that with nobody else looking around like, oh, can somebody please get this guy? Can somebody please get this guy? What is he doing? He can't express himself. And I like the fact, because I already know, and because Melrose is a smart brother, and he already knows how they were going to switch things up on him, right? So he knows anytime you talk about the Democrats, you have to also talk about Donald Trump, because otherwise you just automatically seem deemed like you're a Trump supporter. Okay. Now you can talk about Trump without having to drag the Democrats, but you got to drag, if you talk about the Democrats, you have to drag Trump, but that's no problem. Because we not Trump supporters like that, no way. Well, I'm not even gonna say like that. We not Trump supporters here. Okay. We are supporters of Black empowerment. Okay. That's all we support. That's all we vote for. That's my political party. Black is my political party. They red, blue, I'm black. So he says, keep this in mind, because this is going to go into Al Sharpton's response. He says, Biden is a racist. Trump is a racist. Okay. So he's not saying that Trump isn't. He's not saying that, no, y'all keep shaming Trump or anything like that. He throwing Trump under the bus. Now, if he was to say that, keep in mind, if he was to say that, Trump is a racist, the Republicans are racist, this, and this, they would all be all like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We love the youth and we love the energy and the spirit they're coming with, the fighting spirit. That's our brother. He's so smart. Biden is a racist too. Well, hold on now. Let's not go that far. I mean, I get Biden's not perfect and, you know, there's some mistakes in the past, but, you know, all in all, I think his heart was really in the right place with the crime bill. That's how they do with him. That's how they do.
There, but the Democrats are no better than the Republicans. No check, no vote. Y'all take care. And somebody give my man a tissue. He need a tissue.
Thank you. First, let me clarify something. There are many young people.
First off, hold on. Before we do that, let's give a round of applause for our brother Melrose. I'm gonna say something. 2026. Let me just make a brief announcement. I don't know what's going on with New York in 2026, but I'm proud of y'all. I am. I'm proud. You know, I was in New York not long ago. That's probably what it was. I don't know. I'm finding a way to interject myself. I'm finding a way to pat myself on the back. You know what I'm saying? I'm patting myself on the back. Like, you know, I was in New York, even though it was a layover, but still, I was in New York, you know, not long ago. So I got some of the New York spirit. It was cold, so I got some of that. You know what I'm saying? But New York, y'all, I mean, 2026, New York is just showing out, ain't they? New York is just putting it on the line. They just doing the thing, man. Another round of applause for New York. I love it. Oh man, New York is just doing their thing, ain't they? All right. He looks terrified. Okay, let's get back to it.
Action Network. I happen to be one of them. I may look old, but I'm not old. And we have N.A.N actually brought.
Okay, he says, I happen to be one of them. So that would make it 5 people in that room of lowballing it. It would at least, and I'm super lowballing it. It would have at least be like 100 something people, 120 people in that room, and I'm super lowballing it. Okay. Because normally rooms like that fit way more than that, but okay, that's me lowballing it. So out of all those people, it's 5 people younger than 30 in that room. Okay, whoop-de-doo.
People from
But and mind you, you're actually on the payroll. You're a part of the organization, so that damn near really doesn't count.
out of town to the convention under the leadership of Ashley Sharpton and Reverend Cassius Rudolph from HBCUs, and went on a whole college tour. So I don't want anybody to think that we are not supportive of our young people, because Rev was a young person one day that somebody looked out for to assist. And that's what N.A.N is about. Rev always says he's not anybody's talent agent, but he believes in helping those that need help. Because what does the Bible says? Your gift will make room for you. Not that someone will make room for you, but what? Your gift. So let your gift shine light. All right. Now y'all come on and be brief, because we don't have...
Notice, and here's the thing. Notice anytime they get called out, they bring up the Bible. They're exploiting the Bible every single time they get called out. They be all like, remember what the Bible says. And for whatever reason, I assume it, I guess it has worked thus far, but it puts people under this like hypnosis that, well, no, these are righteous people. These are good people. You know, people who quote the Bible, and they know that people have that assumption that if you're able to quote the Bible, that you're some type of righteous person. So anytime they get caught up, they be all like, hold on, now remember in the Bible it says do. Okay, well, yeah, you can quote the Bible, but you clearly are not following none of the teachings in the Bible. You're not a righteous person just because you can quote the Bible. There's a lot of evil people who can quote the Bible. But I just want you to notice, anytime they get caught up, that's what they do.
Okay, we got one more person. This is the last person. Step up. Tell us your name, where you're from, and briefly, what's on your mind.
We're going to skip past that because I want to get to Al Sharpton, because Al Sharpton was fuming. He was fuming. Okay, he came out there on 10. Hold on. He came out there mad as hell.
Happy to be with you another Saturday morning where the action.
I'm gonna fast forward because just a tad bit, just teeny tiny bit. Okay, I feel like that's okay.
And give a hand to our host, Sister Nancy Darlene Crawford, and all of our chapter leaders. We've had chapter leaders from all over the country. I see Larry Young. I looked for you last night. I went to the social. We've had chapter leaders from about 49 of our cities. And some people came to me last night from Mississippi. I didn't even know we had a chapter in that particular city. So I'm glad that people are here. Let me say, in terms of our report for the year, and then we're going to go on with the program. Our young people are rehearsing, getting ready for this afternoon is our youth day. I heard somebody talk about young people. They tell them just stay around. They're going to see two people, afternoon, all of the youth in N.A.N. I don't know, but you get provocateurs, because anybody that's talking to somebody younger than them holding the mic, then you know that they're paid agents. And if you're in the room, if you
anybody, hold on, let's take that back.
Don't like me saying, because anybody that is talking to somebody younger than them holding the mic, then you know that they're paid agents.
Anybody who's talking to somebody younger than them holding the mic, first off, nobody even knows what that means. And they're paid agents, they're provocateurs. Now, Melrose was smart by making sure he mentioned Trump and the fact that we're not standing with Trump, we're not allying ourselves with Donald Trump either, because y'all already know that's where Al Sharpton would have went. Al Sharpton would have went, oh, you must be a Trump supporter. That if you calling me out, then that means you must be a Trump supporter. How dare you call Democrat? That must mean you're a Trump supporter. But the fact that Melrose was smart enough and had the foresight to know that's exactly what the next step would have been. Now he's all like, oh, well, they're just provocateurs. Okay, what are we saying then? What side are we on? If we're calling both of you out, you can't say we're on the Republican side. And that's the thing that's making him upset, because he can't just throw that Republican MAGA jacket, which is what they always do. Anytime they're called out, oh, that's MAGA. We don't even got to say anything. I know he called out me stealing, but he's MAGA. So everything he says is wrong. He's MAGA. But if we say, okay, well, Donald Trump is racist and I don't support him, but Biden is racist and I don't support him either, that gets them in a hard place, because then you can't just throw this MAGA jacket on him. And he couldn't throw the MAGA jacket on Melrose. That's why he's trying to come up with something.
And if you're in the room, if you don't like me saying that, I'll say it again. Because you cannot get reparations
now,
without...
We're talking about paid, right? We're talking about paid. I find it interesting that he brings that up. He brings up people being paid. Now, remember, he was paid about $500,000 for this interview. This one right here. Do y'all remember that? Now I'm going to ask you guys another question. You guys already answered it. I'm not trying to spoil it, but you guys already answered this. Now, with this $500,000 interview he did for about 40 something minutes, how many times, put it in the chat room, how many times do you think he brought up the word reparations? How many times do you think Reverend Al Sharpton brought the word reparations up? Now, this was right before her 2024 presidential election. Okay, this was right before the election. This was a very critical interview. All right. And how many times did he bring up reparations? Exactly, chat room. 0. He didn't bring it up one time. The same way he didn't bring it up when she was with him a few days ago. He didn't bring it up then. While he wanted to talk about somebody being paid, he got paid to sit up there and do this and didn't bring up reparations, which he knew was a huge issue for her. What did he bring up, though? He brought this up.
On 18, I worked as youth director for Shirley Chisholm's campaign for president. And I was stunned that some of the backlash she got were from black elected male officials saying they didn't want to support a woman. They went with other candidates. I think it was George McGovern. And I hear these people talking about black men that are pulling away from your campaign, though I've not seen any real evidence of that. Do you think some of the resistance of some men, black and white, is misogynist? And are you proud to see that most Americans, even being polled, have no problem supporting a woman at all? And I'm one that lived from Shirley to Kamala in terms of these campaigns.
And
Now, this is to push the narrative that anybody asking for tangibles. Now, remember, in her recent thing, she was all like, oh, it's okay to be transactional. Remember, it was interviews like this with Al Sharpton that was making it seem like anytime brothers, now a whole lot of sisters had the exact same complaint, but you can't bring them up because then you can't use the misogyny argument. So anytime a brother had an issue, they were saying, well, that's really just hitting sexism and misogyny, and you're just kind of being misogynistic because you don't think a woman is qualified to lead anything. That's what they were doing when we were talking about transactions. Now she's going out there saying, I do think it's okay and it's right to be transactional. That's exactly what we should be doing. We should be being transactional. He was the one shutting that down. Now I want you to think this interview is really not even to get her understanding, because she brought up the fact that her mother was single and her mother worked like 2 jobs and she had a house and she had a nanny, all that stuff. But this was to push the narrative that any male in particular black males, but black males in particular who had any type of pushback or questioned her in the slightest was just misogynist, purely misogynistic. All questions from black males were misogynistic, and they thought that they could just hide the fact that black women had the same issue.
I have an emotional reaction to you raising the point of Shirley Chisholm, because it is on her broad shoulders that I stand, and so many of us stand. And we have come a long way, to your point, and on your specific point about including the fact that I have the support of countless black men who are in elected positions, including I'm just this afternoon and 2 church visits today with the mayor of Atlanta. That being said, I think that you are absolutely right, that there is this narrative about what kind of support we are receiving from black men that is just not panning out in reality in terms of when I go to last night Atlanta and had, I think, 10,000 people at a rally. I will also say this, Rev. I am very clear. I must earn the vote of everyone, regardless of their race or gender. And what can be frustrating sometimes is to have journalists ask me this question as though one should assume that I would just be able to take for granted the vote of black men. I think that's actually an uninformed perspective, because why would black men be any different than any other demographic of voter?
Well, you're saying that in the interview, but you weren't saying that in your policies. That's not what you were saying in your policies. Now, going back to it, remember, Al Sharpton and all of them who did these interviews, because we all could tell, before the check was even out, before the invoice was out about all of these interviews, we already knew they were being paid. We already knew that. They was already getting paid off. We knew it. We knew that. And he swore up and down he was not getting paid anything. He swore, Oprah swore, they was all, I'm not getting paid nothing. Kamala didn't pay me. No. They said no, just like her. No. She paid what? No, she didn't pay me anything. Okay. She said that. Roland Martin said that. Al Sharpton said that. All of them were saying that. And then the receipts came out, and people are like, how do you explain your name on the invoice, Al Sharpton? This is what he had to say. Mr. White,
the accusation that President Trump has leveled at you
are paid agents. This is what he has to say while he was trying to explain away how he got paid $500,000 for his interview.
But let's just start simply with the accusation that President Trump has leveled at you. Were you paid for an endorsement?
Well, absolutely not. And as the FEC filings say, they helped the campaign, gave funds for Get Out the Vote campaigns for National Action Network, of which I'm a part of, and other civil rights groups, some which got more than National Action Network did. National Action Network, nor I even endorsed.
Now, notice that. That's the same thing that Roland said. Oh, I'm not the only one who got money. Yeah, she gave it to National Action Network, which is organization I'm a part of. You mean you run, but he said a part of and not runs. That's his organization. But okay, he said he's a part. Yeah, you're a part of. All right, trying to lower, I guess, his position in his organization to save face, and then be all like, yeah, and other civil rights organizations who got more money than me. That's the same excuse Roland made. Remember? Well, yeah, I got some, but I didn't get as much as everybody else got. I'm not the only one who got paid. That's the same thing Roland said. When y'all said y'all didn't get paid anything. Y'all made it seem like y'all were completely impartial and didn't get paid nothing. Now you're out here saying, well, yeah, I got paid, but I'm not the only one who got paid. So, I mean, I guess that's fair, right?
Lost her. What is interesting about this, though, is that the fact that this is as you accurately reported, second or third time, lawyers for National Action Network was looking at, can we sue him for defamation? Because he had knowledge this time that there was no endorsement and that I didn't get any money. This went to the nonprofit that I'm connected to. But let's look at the larger picture.
That he runs. He's the nonprofit I'm connected to. Yo, this is shiesty. This, especially for a reverend, y'all, this is shiesty. This is why people don't listen to him and have any respect for him. So he's like, well, technically speaking, when I said, well, technically, here's the thing, y'all. I said she didn't pay me. I never said I didn't get paid. That's the difference that you guys aren't understanding. I didn't say I didn't get paid. I said she didn't pay me. That's what I said. Okay, so it's a little misunderstanding because okay, I have a personal checking account and then I have a business account, and I'm just connected to my business account. So she just put some, she didn't even pay it. She just happened to have left some money in my business account. So yeah, I got paid from my business, and there's just more money in a business account, technically speaking. But technically, she didn't pay me. She just left the money in my bank account, if you really want to think about it. So I really didn't lie from a certain point of view when I said I'm not getting, she didn't pay me. That's what I from a certain point of view, when you look at it that way, she didn't pay me. She just left money in my bank account. That's what, it's, a lot of people don't understand. It's propaganda. And I'm suing, I'm going to sue everybody who says I got paid. What do you mean? No, I'm going to sue the president for saying I get, because that's not right. How is he going to make it look like I got paid? That's not right.
Here, Donald Trump is in very serious problems around this whole question of Epstein. So last week, he was trying to flood the zone to take any pressure off of him and try to put his MAGA base back together again. The fact is, he started by saying he's going to fire the Fed chief.
Now and boy, I swear to God, the Democrats rely on Donald Trump more than MAGA does at this point. Because anytime they get in trouble, anytime there's a scandal, anytime they get caught they can be caught red-handed. I'm talking about hands all up in the cookie jar. And they'd be all like, well, the thing is that you think my hand is in the cookie jar, but really, Donald Trump's hands have been in kids. And that's what you really need to be talking about with the Epstein files, not my hand in the cookie jar. Okay, you're talking about the wrong thing. They've been using Donald Trump to deflect from all of their wrongdoing for the last decade. That's what they've been doing. And it's not going to work. It's just not going to work because nobody takes them serious. And this isn't even me to be the defending Donald Trump. Yeah, pause. Let me say pause. Let me say pause with that one. But let's be honest. Come on now. Let me get to the super chats before we continue. Okay. Let me get to Zay says Afro elite and beautiful FBA family, beloved sister. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Thank you. And we're gonna get to FBA justice. Oh, come on now. Who's the thing? Now, come on. Al the Fed snitched. Yeah, he is. He's a Fed. That's been confirmed. That's not a lie or anything. It's been confirmed. He is a snitch. Al the Fed snitched. Ignored the issue that Melrose spoke on. He did completely, entirely. And then went full shill. We know now, we now see these people clearly for what they are. Bought off. Yeah. Bought off. I wonder if she paid him to go on that convention thing that they were just on. But let's get back to it since we're talking about it. Let's get back to it. Well, you want to talk about somebody else being a snitch in a paid shield.
Putting people in office that's going to pay them. So talk that ignorance somewhere else.
And all of them clapping and all of that stuff.
We have been for all of our existence fighting for reparations. Made every candidate pledge to it. You cannot get reparations.
Made every candidate pledge to reparations. You literally just had the former VP on your stage and you had a one-on-one conversation with her in front of everybody, televised, and you didn't bring the word reparations up one time. You did ask her if she was running again in 2028. When you had your interview with her before, right before her campaign, you didn't bring the word reparations up one single time. So what are you talking about? We made everybody pledge to reparations. You didn't make her pledge to reparations a single time. You didn't make Joe Biden pledge to reparations. You've not made anybody pledge or even signal that they agree with reparations. They don't even have to agree. Not only pledge is a bar too high for him to reach. They don't even have to verbally agree to reparations. Why he's like, yeah, we've made them pledge. No, you didn't. No, you have not. JB Pritzker was all up on there on that stage too. We're going to talk about that later because we got a lot to cover this week, but we're going to talk about that. He's not made anybody pledge or agree or even imply that they support reparations. All of this fake gangster stuff, Melrose must have left the room because he talking too much so out of the side of his neck for Melrose to still be in the room. He must have made sure Melrose got kicked out the room before he showed up.
Unless you elect folk that's going to pay you. Who you going to pay yourself? So you can't at one hand say, don't vote for everybody, they racist, but I want a reparation. Who going to pay
you? Who going to pay you? Not y'all. Not you. What you talking about? Who you ain't going to pay yourself? Well, if y'all not paying me, there's no need for me to show up. Y'all, I want you to think about it this way. Let's think about it this way. We're all adults here, okay? Everybody here watching is an adult, except, we might have some young ones in here. We might have some kids. Shout out to the young ones in here. Shout out to the youth. Much respect to y'all. We all have had jobs, right? We've had tasks. We've had instructions. And we had an agreement before showing up to work that we were going to get paid because that's how jobs work, right? You get paid for your work, right? Now, if McDonald's and Burger King, if they're saying, well, you can come work for McDonald's, but I'm not going to pay you anything. You can come flip the burgers. You can drop the fries. You can put the Coca-Cola in the machine or whatever, but you're not, this is all for free. Okay. If Burger King says, yeah, you can make our Whoppers, you can put our fries down, you can get the Pepsi, but we're not paying you anything. So if McDonald's is not going to pay you and Burger King is not going to pay you, so why would you show up to either one? Is my question. And if somebody's to say, well, hold on, how are you expecting to get paid if you don't show up? I'm not going to show up because they already expressed to me I'm not getting paid. I'm not going to show up and then work for them and then try to change their mind after I make them money, after I work. No, none of y'all, every single last person listening right now, whether that's live or recorded, and including myself, and I'm talking about ever since I've been working from a very young age. Everybody would quit their job immediately if they said, hey, we're not going to pay you anymore. I'm 2 weeks be damned. I'm not showing up tomorrow, period. That's it. Everybody would do that. You don't show up unless there is an absolute guarantee you're getting paid. Absolute. Not only do your jobs have to say they're paying you, they have to let you know how much they're paying you. It's not like, hey, we're going to pay you this week, and then we're going to hand you something this week. We're going to hand you something this week. No, I need to know exactly how much I'm being paid every hour I'm there. And it better not fluctuate. It can go up now. It can't go up, but it better not go down. This is the minimum I'm going to show up here for. And if anything drop below this, I'm out the door. And we all are like that. Every single person is like that. So you're not going to show up to work and then do the work and then negotiate the pay. That's not how that works. No, there is a guarantee of payment before I show up. Before I pull into this parking lot, get out the car, put this clock in or put a uniform on or whatever the case may be and do whatever the job is, there is a guarantee, whether that's a salary, whether that's you getting paid by the hour, there is a guarantee of payment. You don't do nothing before there's a guarantee. You don't do nothing before there is a commitment. They got to sign that. That's what you sign it, they sign it. What he's telling us is that even though there's no guarantee of payment, you still should come up and work anyway. No, to hell with that. This is why Melrose said you don't speak for the youth.
So either you paid or you stupid or both.
Now look, he's mad. Either you paid or you stupid or both. Okay. Yo, let me ask y'all a question. And I just want a simple yes or no in the chat room. Do you guys think that Dr. King would be talking like that? If this wasn't Al Sharpton, and if this was Dr. King, if this was Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., do you think that Dr. Martin Luther King will be talking to somebody like that? A young man young enough to be his son, who's frustrated, who didn't, mind you, Melrose didn't call anybody's name. He didn't call Al Sharpton out. Okay. He didn't say his name. He didn't curse at him. He didn't even call them stupid. Okay. Do you think that Dr. King would sit up there and be, oh, you paid or you stupid or both? As a excuse you. Where's your wisdom and your grace and maturity? Even if Melrose was completely wrong, this is how you get out of body about it. This is how you handle that. It would be one thing if he said, oh, the young brother, he's just frustrated and I understand, but he's misinformed and he's been listening to the wrong people and we need to guide him and bring him back to the right way or whatever the case is. The first thing that came out of your mouth is that he's a paid agent. That's the very first thing he had to say. Mind you, he didn't say anything he said was wrong. He hasn't cleared up what he said was wrong. He can't clear that up, but that's the first thing you have to say. This shows a level of extreme frustration. That's extreme frustration. Look at the way he carries himself.
I mean, I don't see nobody standing up. I didn't see whoever it was, but yeah, okay. I was at college and the guy stood up talking about, I don't believe in all that nonviolent stuff. Y'all need to get out the way and and all you punks. I said, hold it with the punk stuff. I said, because you got one punk out. You go to the second punk, you're going to get the best nonviolent whipping you ever got in your life. Because I'm not scared of the folk we fight. I ain't scared of the folk we fighting with. So let's be clear about that. Let me say that it is very important that we recognize our chapter leaders. I want to thank who's on the platform from National Action Network, Middle Tennessee, Cheryl Huff. Montgomery, Alabama, Derek Hampton.
We're going to fast forward past that.
New Jersey patrons. Voter education and preparation tour. And I am going to do that tour in conjunction with those that are in local office around the issues of, first and foremost, we need to get rid.
Now, I want you to listen. This is very, very important. And I need you to hear me with that. Melrose is in the building. Everybody, let's give a round of applause to our brother Mel. He's going to talk about the first and foremost, most important thing. Is very important, very crucial that we pay attention right now to what he's going to specify is the most important thing that Black Americans need to be focusing on. Okay, I think we all need to listen to this.
Of this Congress. And I am going to do that tour in conjunction with those that are in local office around the issues of, first and foremost, we need to get rid of this Congress.
First and foremost, we need to get rid of this Congress, which means voting in the midterms. That's what that means. We need to vote for the midterms for Democrats, down ballot, blindly. That's what we need to do. Just because that would get rid of some Republicans in Congress.
And I'm not talking about the Congress that's with us. I'm talking about the Congress that is legislating, led by Mike Johnson and the Republicans. We need to stand and work with the Congressional Black Caucus and with local Black elected officials. And we need to stop fighting each other and fight for the people that we are there for.
Now, I paused it here for a very important reason. I want y'all to listen real quick, okay? The reason I stopped that right there is because I've been saying this. The Democrats, and when I say the Democrats, when I say Democrats, I don't just mean elected officials, because I mean everybody who's on the team. So that includes Al Sharpton, that includes Roland Martin, that includes all of the people who are really on the team, the people who are elected, the people who are pushing the narratives and are being their spokesman and their media personnel. That's what I mean when I say the Democrats. I want you to know that the Democrats have relied heavily on Donald Trump, because they can't talk about, he just had Kamala up there, they can't talk about exactly what they're going to do to improve anything. They can't talk about, you know what, I don't like this, so I am going to do this. I don't like this policy. We have this problem in this area right here, and this is my solution for this problem. We have this issue. This is my policy that will resolve this issue. They can't do that. Their whole campaign has been about, man, Donald Trump, man, we got to stop Donald Trump. We got to stop Donald Trump. That's what they've been saying. Remember when Biden was in office? Well, we got to stop Donald Trump. And then when Biden was in office, well, Biden is busy cleaning up Donald Trump's mess. You got to let Biden have some time. He's busy cleaning up Donald Trump's mess. And then 2 years later, well, we got to focus on the midterms now, because we got to keep the Republicans out of office, because that's just our main priority right now. We're going to get to all of the black stuff later. We just got to focus on making sure that the Republicans don't get in office. So that's the only thing that can be discussed right now. Okay, after the midterms. Oh, hold on now. We just got to focus on Donald Trump not getting back into the White House. We just got to focus on Donald Trump not getting to the White House. We'll focus on all that other stuff later. We got to focus on Donald Trump. Okay, Donald Trump wins in 2024. Now their whole thing is, look, we just got to beat Donald Trump. We got to take seats back. We just got to beat Donald Trump down. We got to every single thing is about Donald Trump. Everything. We can't get anything, nothing, without them bringing up Donald Trump. They have been using Donald Trump as a scapegoat and the deflection to dodge around the fact that they don't have an agenda that we would agree with. When we ask what is their agenda, they be all like, right now it's really not the time to talk about our agenda. Our agenda is beating Donald Trump. Is that not enough? No, it's not enough. It is not enough. It wasn't enough last time. It's not going to be enough next time in 2026. It won't be enough in 2028. That is not enough. Everything is, well, hold on. Well, you know, we got to stop the damage that Donald Trump has done, but we just got to talk about that. No. He's avoiding talking about what things. Kamala brought up, yeah, we need to transform. And they just bring up, yeah, we got to transform the bad and push good through the bad with the youth, and people want progress and not bad. So it's we got to replace, you know, you got your positive energy and negative energy, right? And we just got to put more positive than the negative out. They can't talk about anything because they don't have an agenda that they know people will agree with. They know if they said our policies are this, and this, people would reject that. So they have to rely on, hey, y'all, let's talk about Donald Trump. Let's talk about that. Don't like Donald Trump, so let's just talk about him. That's what they're doing. And that's what he's doing right now. First and foremost is our reparations. And our reparations will be first and foremost in 2026, in 2028, in 2030, in 2032. You hear me? Do you hear me? Our reparations, our tangibles is always first and foremost. I don't care who gets in office. I don't care if Donald Trump go for a damn third term. I don't care if it's J.D. Vance. I don't care who it is. It could be, damn it, Nick Fuentes. Our reparations is first and foremost. I don't care. We got to stop it. Y'all, the Martian Manhunter, okay, can come down and run for president. I'm still gonna make sure reparations is first and foremost. They be all like, but guys, it's Thanos and he's gonna destroy the world and snap all of the people away. Well, let's get our reparations first, and then we'll see what we can do then. It is first and foremost all of the time.
And the reason I get so passionate about this, that's why I wanted to correct whoever that was that's talking before I got up here. The reason I got so passionate about this is these super duper militants that divide our community is the reason why Donald Trump got elected and Kamala lost. They get enough of them to get some folks disgusted with the system, and all they need is a few to flip the election. Trump needs ignorance in order to stay in power. We need enlightenment to stand up for our community. Young, old, bold, it doesn't matter.
Oh, Lord. Okay. Trump needs ignorance. Okay, fine. What was said that is ignorant? If you're saying that Donald Trump first off, you're saying Trump needs ignorance, and even though Melrose already called Trump a racist, so it's not like he's on Trump's side, but you're saying that Trump needs ignorance. What was said that was ignorant? You can't just use the buzzword ignorant. Notice that Democrats always they just use buzzwords. All this ignorance and hate and xenophobia and misinformation. Misogyny. Like, they keep using buzzwords without actually rebuttaling what was said, debunking what was said. He has yet to debunk or even address what was said, but we need enlightenment and peace and hope and unity and freedom and happiness and joy, and like they just use buzzwords, y'all. They just use buzzwords, man.
So N.A.N. is going on this national tour unapologetically. Why? Because black unemployment has risen under Trump. Why? Because he started his first day going after diversity, equity, and inclusion. We are an organization that was raised and trained by those that came out of the civil rights movement. My mentor, Reverend Jesse Jackson, who just passed. And they passed the baton on us. Reverend Jackson used to be every year for our convention. Coretta Scott King been here. They did theirs. Question is, are we going to do ours in our generation?
Now, when they bring up, and we've talked about DEI a lot on this channel. We have. They bring up DEI. I want to pull up this clip, and I've played this before. Now, remember, there was this big Target boycott. Now, listen, Target is not black owned. And as you guys may or may not have known, I used to work for Target, and I was like, how old was I? I was like 20. So this was a while ago. Okay. So I did work for Target for like a year and some change. All right. So I'm not, and I've seen the racism in Target. I've seen the racist way they treat their black employees in Target. I've seen that myself. I've seen the way they do certain merchandise. I've seen how the Black History Month, I've seen how it used to be a bigger thing. They used to have signs up and they used to have things where, decorations and stuff. Now, of course, some of the stuff was, more Pan-African adjacent, but it was acknowledgement of Black History Month. Target used to have that. Target stripped off, and I saw it. I saw it. 1 year it was there. The next year it was gone. Target stripped all of that. There was no acknowledgement for the whole month. Then I'm like, okay, damn, that's interesting. But guess what? When St. Patrick's Day was coming up, it was green, it was clothes and all of that stuff. It was Lucky Charms sales and all of that. It was green everywhere. Now, St. Patrick's Day is one day. We had a whole Black History Month. Target didn't do nothing for Black History Month, but they did the utmost for St. Patrick's Day. And let me not even get started on how they completely turned out for Pride Month. I'm talking about it was rainbows as far as the eye can see. I'm talking about everywhere. So I'm all like, okay, that's how y'all gonna do. All right. I saw it. And I raised the issue. And it was, well, we'll see about it. We'll see. It's just the Black, we'll see. So I saw it. I don't care. To hell with Target too. I don't care about Target. To hell with Target. But I want you to remember, they said we should boycott Target because of DEI. And they were trying to make it seem as if DEI was tied to the civil rights movement. That's what he keeps trying to make it seem. And what we were saying is that y'all know that most of the beneficiaries of DEI would go to white women and then LGBT white folk. So what is this campaign that you're trying to put on Black people? Because you're not trying to put this on white women. You're not trying to put this on you're not trying to put this on LGBT men, white men. You're trying to put this on Black people. So why are you marketing this and targeting Black people with something that doesn't mainly benefit them? We were saying that, and they knew it. They knew it. They knew this wasn't about Black people, that the end of DEI wasn't about Black people. They confessed it. Let me pull this clip up. So this was Jamal Bryant talking about
here
the
with
DEI
us.
thing.
We truly.
And guess what, y'all? The whole campaign against Target, the whole boycott against Target, he stole that. That wasn't even his. He just got in front of a camera and a microphone and took credit for the whole thing. That wasn't even his idea. He stole that from a couple of Black women, a few Black women.
Appreciate it. For those who do not know, Pastor Bryant, of course, is the head pastor at New Birth Missionary Baptist Church here in Atlanta, Georgia. Pastor Bryant, I know that you have called on a 40-day boycott from Target, a 40 days of prayer. We know that Target is among other companies deciding to roll back DEI initiatives per the request of President Donald Trump. Our question tonight is, why Target specifically? We know that there have been several companies to call for these rollbacks. Why are you focusing on Target?
Well, Target is the first. It will not be the only. Because they are publicly traded, we were able to get demographic data and discover that the African-American community spends upwards of $12 million a day. Secondly, Target made a commitment to George Floyd's family and the Minneapolis community, where their headquarters, to invest $2 billion into Black business by December 2025. They took occasion upon President Trump's executive order to not just dismantle their commitment to DEI, but to also disavow their commitment to the $2 billion investment into minority businesses. We've asked for 4 things.
Keep in mind, he said minority. Listen.
Things, they're all listed on our website, targetfast.org, that they would invest $250 million into Black banks of their choosing, that they would walk alongside 10 HBCUs and their business programs, that they would stand by the commitment they made to the George Floyd family and community, and that they would reinstate their DEI commitment.
How do you respond to critics who say that these boycotts also impact the employees, the workers of these places?
Yeah, I think that this is a time.
Let me fast forward. Hold on.
A digital directory in partnership with the U.S. Black Chamber of Commerce.
And what do you say to those who rely on Target? Maybe Target is their only source of groceries in their neighborhood to get a.
We're in the Montgomery bus boycott. Many had to convenience to make a long-term impact.
Do you believe that corporations should be obligated to have DEI initiatives?
When you consider how much revenue and commerce the African American community brings to these corporations, I don't want them to feel as if they're doing us a favor. We're looking for partnership. That's why we're asking 100,000 African Americans and Christians to sign up at targetfast.org because numbers don't lie and the data will speak for themselves. And so I'm hoping that we'll be able to really render the numbers to them because they still got to sell paper towels, still got to sell shampoo, still got to sell shoelaces and school supplies. And our community has stood steadfast with Target through the years, and we're hoping that they'll stand with us in this season.
Pastor Bryant, what's your message to the CEOs, those on
African Americans have $2 trillion worth of spending power. We are the 12th wealthiest nation in the world, exceeding places like Switzerland and Norway and Iceland, and that we ought to be looked at as consumer partners that we are. We're not looking for a favor. We're looking for respectability. And corporations are not showing us that. The reality is, Faith, African Americans are not the number one recipients of DEI.
What? Wait, what? All of that talking about the George Floyd family and all of that talking about the respect that we deserve, and he wants us to reinstate DEI, and this is what we need DEI, and then he says that? What? Wait, what?
Americans are not the number one recipients of DEI. White women are. But still, to make America...
What? Who? Yo, hold on. I'm blown away. You said who is the number one recipients of DEI is what? White women. I wouldn't have believed that the way you were talking the whole time. I wouldn't, the way because I don't see white women out there champion to boycott anything because of DEI. Name the white woman, the white woman in the media, the way Reverend Jamal Bryant or Al Sharpton or any of them or Roland Martin, name the white women who've been sent up there champion to boycott white-owned businesses because of DEI, the way they have been. Even though they're the main reason, or the main beneficiaries of DEI. And here's the thing. He knew that the whole time. He didn't just find that out. He knew that the whole time, that this thing was mainly going to help them out. It was a bigger boost for white women than it was for black people. And it's not just for white women either. It's white women, and you got Hispanics, Asians, gays, quote unquote, redneck, all of these people all in between. And then some tethers in there in between.
White women are. But still, to make America great, I think that we've got to look out for everybody in order to have a equal access to the starting line.
But still, to make America great, we have to look out for everybody, including white women, because white women don't get looked out for enough. White women go through it too, and it's important that black people stand side to side with white women because that's just worked out so well in the past. Don't you understand? That's what they're saying. This is what people are selling you on. So bringing this up to say, when people talk about DEI, y'all know what's going on with DEI? Trump, he took down DEI. All of them know that DEI is about white women. We're not just saying that. And we're not saying it and they don't know it. They know it, but they're still saying it. They're making it seem as if DEI isn't just about white women, or even if it includes white women, it mainly benefits us. They don't only know that DEI doesn't only benefit black people. They know DEI doesn't even mainly benefit black people. If they know DEI doesn't mainly benefit black people, they know DEI and all of the other programs, affirmative action, and these minority initiatives, they know black people are at the back of the line with all of these things. So don't let nobody bring up no DEI. They already showed their hand. They already showed their hand with DEI.
Greta Scott King and her husband, Dr. King, helped lead a movement that broke down the walls of apartheid. When they started, blacks couldn't even sit in the front of the bus. When they started, you couldn't even vote without going through all kind of voter schemes. When they started, we couldn't even use a toilet downtown in Southern America. When they finished, we had the right to vote. When they finished, we ended up taking a black preacher that never held office and made it a national holiday, and the whole country had to close down. That's what they did in their generation. Jesse and his generation moved it forward to where we had black elected officials all over the country, black mayors, 3 black governors. Now the question is, well, what are we going to do in our generation? They're trying to take back everything that was gained by our parents and our grandparents. We've got to be smart enough to not get in internal fighting that we lose the whole big fight that brought us this far. They are prepared to turn back the clock.
Now, it's interesting, and I just paused it for a while, so I'm not going to take too long, y'all. I just paused it for a while. I'm not going to take too long. But I want you to understand, it's interesting he's bringing this up because he understands that when it comes to gentrification, the Obama Center, all of these illegal immigrants who are coming in, gentrifying black folk out of our houses under the Democrats. Now, didn't Dr. King fight for fair housing? And let's look at the housing market when it comes to under the Democrat rule, under Democrat cities, under Democrat states, under a Democrat Congress and president. Is that not a concern? Is that not an issue? It's only an issue when the Republicans are doing it. They're going to reverse everything back, and they're going to take it back. They're going to take what back exactly? What are the Republicans going to take back that the Democrats are not taking back? Exactly. I wouldn't even say this is preaching because you're not really making a point or addressing an issue. This is empty preaching. You're just using the words of a preacher, but it doesn't connect. When people preach, it's supposed to connect to something. It's supposed to hit something like a frequency that connects to the soul, family. That when you preach, you're supposed to be able to feel it, not just know it, but you feel it when they say it. Now you can feel the emotions not only of the person, but of yourself when they say it. That's what it means to do that. That's what it means to be a good preacher. Not just saying the words. You might have fancy words. You might talk really, really fast. You might talk really, really slow. You might have a high pitch. You might have a low pitch. You might use a lot of, I'm not going to say cursing, but you might use a lot of stronger language. You might not. You might insult. You might not. But the point is that there's a certain energy that gives off, regardless of the style that you do that in. If it comes out with truth, and truth is the core of that, and if it comes out with truth, there's an energy that it gives off. Do you understand? Are you feeling me? If you don't have that energy, that vibe, that frequency, if you can't tune into that, it's just words. It doesn't matter how fast you say it. It doesn't matter how aggressive you say it. It doesn't matter the tone of voice you use. It doesn't matter. They're just words, and they're empty. It's nothing. It's air. It has no power to it. And that's what he's doing.
Why? Because they are the children of those that never wanted to see the clock move forward in the first place. Let me tell you something. Donald Trump is the son of Fred Trump. Fred Trump and Donald Trump was cited by the Justice Department as discrimination in their real estate in the 70s. Donald Trump is cited by that in his businesses way before he became known. less known a politician. They are standing up for what they believe. Question is, will we stand up for what we believe?
You know, it's interesting that you talked about Donald Trump being cited for all of that stuff in the 70s and all of that. You was cool with Donald Trump back then, Al Sharpton. I want you to keep this in mind. Before Donald Trump became a Republican, Donald Trump was a Democrat. Al Sharpton and Donald Trump used to kick it at parties and different events and after parties and all that. He never called out Donald Trump, despite all of the racist things that he's bringing up now, which are racist. I'm not going to sit up there and say they're not, but all of the racist things he's bringing up now was not an issue when Donald Trump was a Democrat. Now that Donald Trump is not a Democrat and is an opposition to the Democrat Party, now all of the racist stuff he did in the 70s was an issue, in the 90s was an issue. It wasn't that much of an issue for you not to be going to his parties, for you not to be smiling ear to ear in pictures with him. It wasn't that much of an issue and then, but 50 something years later, now it's an issue. Close to about 60 something years later, it's an issue now. Okay. All of the stuff, even when they bring up the Central Park 5, y'all, do y'all remember Al Sharpton calling out Donald Trump and all of the people who are talking about Donald Trump with the Central Park 5, which I remember when I first started YouTube, I originally made a video about that. I thought it was disgusting what he did, okay? Especially the fact that he stood on it. It shows a lack of character on his part. I will also admit the truth on both sides, because all of the people who's calling him out, whether that's Whoopi Goldberg or Al Sharpton and all of them, y'all was cool with what he did with the Central Park 5. They were cool with it, and they stayed cool with it. None of them was dragging Donald Trump, wanted Donald Trump to apologize and do the walk of shame up until he became the president. Now the Central Park 5 was an issue. The Central Park 5 was not an issue before then. When y'all was going to his parties and when y'all was taking pictures with him and kicking it with him, the Central Park 5 wasn't an issue. His racist discrimination in his hotels in Mar-a-Lago, that wasn't an issue then. But now, because he's a political issue for your party, now that stuff is an issue. Oh yeah, I forgot about the Central Park 5. I forgot about that 40 years ago. But now, oh man, I just can't let that slide. No, that wasn't an issue then. It's really not an issue now, except the fact that he's a political obstacle.
This is our time. That's why I said when I spoke at Reverend Jackson's funeral, they did theirs. Jackie Jackson sent 2 sons to the U.S. Congress. When they were born, they couldn't even vote in Greenville, South Carolina, and Florida, where they were from. So the question is, rather than to condemn your elders who provided for you, the question is, what are you going to do for your children that was done for you?
He is doing what he's doing. Melrose is doing what he's doing for the youth. And first off, Melrose is not condemning elders that's actually done something. What y'all are not going to do is you guys are not going to ride on the backs of Dr. King and Coretta Scott King or Rosa Parks or Malcolm X or anybody before. Y'all not going to sit up there and ride on their backs just because they were elders. Because at the time when they was doing all that stuff, they weren't even elders. They didn't even live to reach the age you're alive at. They didn't even live to be old, to be honest. But even still, y'all not going to sit up there and ride on the elders. No, it was a few of them who was holding it down. And now y'all are sitting up there asking for the credit of work y'all didn't do. And you guys are being the impediment and an obstacle for the newer generation to get anything done. The newer generation is trying to push the needle forward and you're holding it firmly still. And you're talking about you can't condemn your elders. Man, move. Move. You've not done anything. No, move. You need to step out the way. He said, what are you doing for the next generation? We're getting reparations. Unlike you, you are too afraid, cowardly to even bring it up in front of people. When have you heard Al Sharpton even bring up reparations? Except to say we ain't gonna get it unless we vote, and except this time right now specifically. Al Sharpton doesn't even bring up reparations. He doesn't even address it. So what are you talking about? We need to do something for the next generation. Al Sharpton is patting his pockets. He's already been exposed for being paid. He's paid, and he's a Fed. He's a paid federal agent who's looking out for his own best interest. That's all. And there's nothing else to it, y'all. There's nothing else to it. Al Sharpton does not deserve no respect and no elders. He doesn't even deserve the respect to call himself that. How dare he even mouth those words? How dare he refer to himself as an actual elder? He's not that. These people wouldn't stand in the same room as him if they were alive today to see what he became. Al Sharpton was never about that. And the fact that he's sitting up there talking about our generation, talking about what we doing and calling folk agents and calling folk out their names and calling folks stupid, that just shows the lack of character on his behalf. Okay? You know what? We're going to get the call lines open, y'all. Do y'all want to call in? Let me say, because they got this new thing. Let me see if I can make this work now. Hold on. Let me see. Okay. Do y'all see the poll? I wonder if y'all can vote on the poll. Let's see. I don't know if y'all can vote on the poll. They literally just came out with it, so I don't know how it works. So I want to see if y'all can, like, I guess tap the screen or something. I guess I don't know. Maybe it's in the chat room or something. I don't know. We'll see. I don't know if y'all can't. I don't think you can do it. I don't know. Stream y'all always doing something. It's not even really working. We'll see, though. But we will open up the phone lines. Let me get to these super chats real quick before we do, because phone lines are going to take a little minute. So we're going to get to Farquad. Thank you very much. Salute to you. Thank you very much. And then we're going to get to It's Me, I'm Just Saying. Are you selling your shirt or wearing on your store? You know what? I did have this shirt on the store, actually, before. They made me take this down because of a copyright issue. So unfortunately, this design is really exclusive. Unfortunately, I'm going to try to see if I can come up with something else, but this particular design is not on the store anymore. They made me take that down. So I'm going to see what I can do, though. Tobias, he says, keep those receipts. AE, certified salute to you, says B1. This is my brother Melrose. It says peace. Is it peace Afro? I'm pretty sure that's the typo. Afro. He said, no check, no vote, no check, no vote. None. Okay. And then we have Bebe. She says, all FBA should be writing state and federal representatives to make our voices heard. Okay. Yeah, that's something we can do. We can get behind that. Let them know who we are and what we want. Also, reach out to those running for office. They need to hear from us. Yeah, we do. We need to make our voices heard. We do. We need to. There's emails we can be sending out. That doesn't take anything. Emails we can be sending out to their campaign, because they are going to read it, because it's a midterm year. It's an election year. So they do got to check all that stuff. We can be making phone calls. We got to stomp. We got to be out there. I agree. We got to represent y'all. And then for Quan again, appreciate that. Let me get, I guess the poll is not working. I don't see one single vote on the poll. StreamYard, why y'all do me like that, StreamYard? StreamYard like, we got this new poll. You can do a poll on the live, and they can't click the thing. So what is that for? What's that for? StreamYard just did me bogus. They just did us bogus, y'all. But anyway, the call number is 949-381-0044. That is 949-381-0044. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Y'all call in, because I got to talk to y'all. We got to talk to the family about this situation. We got to talk. But I'm saying this right now. I want to shout out to New York. I want to shout out to Melrose. I want to shout out to everybody who is out there representing. This is exactly what we need, because he spent the whole time, and it goes on long, but he spent the whole time responding, or at least attempting to respond to the energy that Melrose said. I want y'all to understand, when they have these open panels and stuff, that's really to give the illusion that they're actually allowing people to speak, because if they don't have an open panel in the convention, it's going to seem as if they're speaking on behalf of the community and they're not speaking to the community. So they'll have an open panel, but what they'll do is that they'll line all of the people who are supposed to be speaking as shields. So all of them will be wearing certain shirts and certain signifiers and things and identifiers to let them know, hey, I'm on the team. And they'll be all like, okay, well, you in the blue shirt, you in the blue shirt, you in the blue shirt, you in a dark blue shirt, you in the light blue shirt, and then you in the blue shirt. And then have you noticed that all of the people coming up, they be all wearing blue shirts, and I'm like, like stuff like that. That's what they do. Let's get to, also, guess what, y'all? Guess what? I told you guys that I would be getting a timer, and I got one. It's right up here. Y'all see that? Y'all see that timer? Y'all see it, huh? Told you. I told you I was going to get a timer. So we're going to do this, a 2-minute timer. We're going to get to our first call. Caller from area code. Nine.
Hey, Afro, this is Jacoby.
Jacoby, talk to us, bro.
Hey, Afro. Hey, man. Reverend Pimp Ass, Coon Ass Sharpton, Bobblehead Sharpton, he gets on my nerves, man. And I say this, we can't move forward as long as we have these gatekeepers in the way. How have you ever been able to differentiate that? That's up to you guys. But these folks is now becoming a problem. And they want to blame Brother Melrose. He didn't say anything negative. What he was explaining what's going on out here in the grassroots, and you guys are tone deaf, either intentionally or ignorantly. And and then you call this man dumb or stupid or both. You were directing that at Brother Melrose. And so what you're saying is you proved his point. You calling us stupid, idiots. We are simple Simons and all those types of mess. You want to blame Trump. Trump would not even be a damn fucking issue if you guys would have did what you guys are supposed to fucking do. It would not be an issue if Biden would not have let 20 fucking million people over this fucking border, goddamn sleeper cells up in this motherfucker. It wouldn't be an issue when we saw people just giving out 8 EBT cards, yakety, 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 like it's a damn video. We all saw that shit, and we all responded in kind. Some sat on the couch, some voted on the other side. Whatever it is what it is. But these folks are in our fucking way. And we both cannot live in the same area, okay, at this point, because now you guys are just being intentionally, willfully spiteful, because you guys want your check. And I won't forget, I'm going to leave it like this, I won't forget what this little son of a bitch did to Warren Ballantyne. He was on that the way you on it now, Afro. That man, the only person who supported him was J. Anthony Brown. This man's career got destroyed because of Al Sharpton. They got him on some bullshit, and the man reached out for him. He wouldn't even reach out to him. See, we gotta watch folks like this, man. And I'll just land it right there.
Yeah, appreciate that. That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. Donald Trump is their doing. If they were thorough, Donald Trump would have never saw that. First off, if they were thorough, Donald Trump wouldn't have saw a first term. He wouldn't have saw a first term. And he damn sure wouldn't have saw a second term if they were doing what they were supposed to be doing. But they weren't, and that's what they get. Donald Trump is what they get. Caller from area code 667.
What's going on, Afro? This
How you doing,
FBA, Mr. CJ the Great. FBA, Mr. CJ calling in, man. I just wanted to say, for my analysis of watching everything, Donald Trump said stand for the American people, right? And the Democrats didn't stand, right? So I'm looking at it like, all right, so the Republicans is saying, are we for the American people? And the Democrats is for illegals. That's what their whole thing is. They were illegals, making kids be gay, stupid shit like that. And then I wanted to also say, our elders failed us. I'm a historian. I study history. I'm real passionate about history. And as I look through history, I've seen failures. Even though we had some triumphs, some decisions our people made that they shouldn't have made, which is leaving us as the next generation to step up. Now we got to clean all this mess up that they left because they were just taking crumbs and stopping the fight. You know what I'm saying? And we are the reparations generation.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? We are the generation that is, we not listening to the elders. We not listening to them. They've been shucking and jiving all this time. I was born in 81. And I always ask myself, what was they doing all this time? Like they was just comfortable with our condition. They was comfortable with the way things are. Because some of them make it out and then they say, oh, I'm going to close my mouth now. I done made it out. I don't have to say nothing no more. They done put a couple dollars in my pocket and told me, be quiet. You know what I'm saying? And I like the fact that FBA gives us all an identity because we all been suffering from an identity crisis. And, you know, FBA gives us an identity. We used to uplift Africa and shit. And the whole time, they don't even fuck with us. Excuse my language. They don't even respect us. They don't even see us as. I ran into an African one time. I ain't gonna be long when I'm about to land my plane. I'm about to land my plane, but I ran into an African one time, and I was like, before FBA, before I was even doing all that, and I was like, yeah, I'm from Africa. He like, what part of Africa? I was like, from slavery. And he was like, yeah, we sold each other. So they already know what they did. You know what I'm saying? They already know. Yep. Even though he didn't, I couldn't tell him what part of Africa I was from. But I'm gonna land my plane with that, brother.
Appreciate that. Let me say something about when they bring up the elders and you're condemning the elders. Let me be abundantly clear. They're trying to ride the coattails of Dr. King and ride the coattails of people who actually did put in work and who actually did make sacrifices. Al Sharpton is not a Dr. King and never will be. Just based off of that alone, he was talking about Dr. King was calling out the church and saying, hey, you know, the church ain't doing what they supposed to be doing. The church ain't being the beacon that they're supposed to be for the community. Okay, they're not out here providing for the community the way they're supposed to. Have you ever heard Al Sharpton raise that issue, or Jamal Bryant? Have you ever heard that issue be raised by any of these reverends and pastors since then? They all get up there and they project like they're Dr. King, but yet they don't follow what he knew that, and that was in the 60s. Dr. King would have never responded to that. Did Dr. King bash the youth? Name one time Dr. King insulted young people. Mind you, Dr. King didn't reach the age of Al Sharpton. We can refer to Dr. King as an ancestor, but he didn't even reach the age of to be an elder. I can't consider him an elder, and if you died before you were 40 years old, he's an ancestor indeed. I guess he is an elder because he was born before my parents and all them, but he died before he was 40. But if he didn't, did Dr. King ever bash the youth? Ever say you're either stupid or paid? You're either stupid or an agent or both? Would Dr. King would have responded to that? Did Dr. King reprimand somebody for a lack of support of their political party? You think he would have done that? You think he would have been dragging young people for not getting on board with the party? No, he doesn't get to sit up there and call. He doesn't even get to use the word elder. All right. Let's get to the next caller. The next caller is caller from area code 716. You're on live.
Hello.
How you doing?
Hey, good evening. Good evening. Great topic. Appreciate your time and energy. But basically, I lost a child back in 2021. All these people are frauds. I didn't deal with the Al Sharpton, you name it. I dealt with NAACP, with all these empty buildings. There's nobody servicing these buildings. I myself.
What was that? I said my condolences.
Thank you. And I had the police called on me. The state attorney's office out in Orlando, Florida, Monique H. Rowell, had her removed back in 2021. But because a lot of the incidents and a lot of the bias, discrimination, and then lack thereof support in the case for my daughter, this was the DNC side of things, the Democratic Party. Tim Kennedy got the police called on me. Sean Ryan, I can go down names who I talked to, the Schumers, the Sharptons, you name it, I went to them. If these people continue to treat our community as if we are just an ATM for votes, leave them where they're at, ladies and gentlemen. These people are, like the gentleman said, it was like 4 younger people in the crowd. That's another point that I pointed out, the lack of connection with economic, lack of connection with technology, the lack of community empowerment among ourselves. We give everything away in hopes that these people who label themselves leaders will get in front of a moving train and do something. And I'm going to bring this point up because he brought up reparations. The N.A.N. been indoctrinated since the 90s, correct? We can all agree there, right? So how many times have they brought reparations to the floor? Let's start there. How many times have they controlled the House and the Senate? Let's start there. He just said, we got to vote people in that's going to give us something. We did. Didn't everybody run behind Obama? Didn't everybody run behind Biden, the Clintons? So we had the people there. So here's the $1 million question everybody should be asking themselves. What are you giving us for our vote? Let's tie economics and voting together, right? And then 3, bring the reparations to the floor tomorrow. Do it this week. There's things going to the floor every week, correct?
I'm gonna let you.
So he should bring it. All right, but I'm gonna land my plane there. But Justice for Culture Hall. Thank you, brother.
My condolences again. That's true. But that's see, that's true. Oh, we gotta vote people in who would do it. Y'all said that about Biden. Y'all said that about Obama the first time. And then the second time. How many more chances do we need? We've given y'all the House and the Senate several times. We've given y'all the presidency several times. We've given y'all the seats you guys keep saying. Every time they say, okay, look, we do want reparations. We do, just believe me. We need this. We give them this. Now it's okay. We just need one more thing. Okay, well, fine. Here's that one more thing. Okay, just 2 more things, and that's it. That's the only thing stopping us. Okay, here's the 2 more things. Oh, okay, well, I didn't know we needed 5 more things, so you can give us those 5 more. It's always something else. They've gotten the House. They've gotten the Senate. They've gotten Congress. They had a president, a blue president. They had all of that at the same time and still couldn't get it done. Everything they say they need, we give them, and they can't get it done because they don't want to. That's what it is. That's the truth. Caller from area code 832. 832, you're on live.
Hey, Afro. How y'all doing tonight?
I'm good, brother. How you doing?
I'm all right. I'm not going to talk very long. All I want to tell you is go look at California. What's their excuse? They control governor, Senate, and House. Same problem. Same problem. They can't blame it on the Republicans. And it boils down to, even we go back into biblical times, what did God tell Abraham? Your seed will go into captivity and they will come out with wealth. You can't send anybody in a capitalist society with nothing. It's not going to work. They know that. So that's all I got to say. I don't want to hold because other people need to call. But thank you for taking my call.
Well, thank you. Thank you for calling. It's true. Well, something going to happen. All right, let me reset. I got to reset the timer each time, right? Caller from area code 318. You're on live.
Hey, nephew, Monroe, Louisiana, in the building. Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Oh, okay. This is Bebe nephew. Hey, FBA family. Well, I just want to. I'm going to be quickly. I just wanted to kind of elaborate that I think we need to start writing our state, local, and local representatives, also federal, and letting them know what we want. I was one of those that would just donate to Act Blue, and I even get phone calls and emails from both Republicans and Democrats. I stopped donating. I just tell them basically now, and started, writing to let them know that I'm FBA and doing my request for reparations. So I think back then I kind of give our ancestors and some of the people a little bit of grace because they didn't know. I think we naturally have big hearts, and we thought if we open up the door for everybody that, that they would take our sides. But, now it's just some lessons learned. But I think if, the more we talk about delineation, I think they're starting to feel it. And I think FBA is really catching on because I watch a lot of YouTube now, and they're wondering, hey, why are the black people protesting with us? Those in Somalia. I've been to Minnesota because I'm a Prince fan. And it's fun. I was one of my the Uber drivers was Somali, and you're right. They don't identify as black. He was telling us about Somali, but he was saying that they weren't. We just conversation, we're chopping it up, but now they're looking for us. Even here in Houston, where I live now, they wonder why aren't the black people at the forefront? So they're looking for us now. But I think we need to write our representatives and let them know what we want, and let them know that we're out there. And I've let them know that they'll never get another dime from me until reparations. So they add reparations or some sort of concessions or for FBAs to their platform. And I'll end there. Thank you.
I appreciate that. And yeah, that's not even a difficult thing to do. That's not difficult to do. And it will be a beneficial thing for us to get ahead of the narrative. Because remember, earlier in the live stream, I said Kamala was bringing up transaction, and that's fine. Cool, fine. She's bringing up transaction. You should be transactional. What's going to happen is they're going to have their shills, whether that be on YouTube, TikTok, whatever. They're going to have their shills be all like, you know what, the black community, I'm going to speak on behalf of the black community, right? And our transaction needs to be get rid of ICE. That's our transaction. So we need to make it abundantly clear what the demand is, which is a check. And we need to get ahead of the people who are going to be coming up and then, quote unquote, representing the community in our interest. And next thing you know, we're going to be all like, come on, guys, fist up for Medicare, fist up for Medicaid, you know that stuff. No. Come on, guys. Can I get a D? Can I get an E? Can I get an I? Like, yeah, they're going to be doing that. So let's get ahead of that. Let's get ahead of that. Caller from area code 615. You're on live. 615, you're on live. See, that's cool. That's cool. I like that.
Hi, this is Angelica Lena calling from Nashville, Tennessee. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing? It's good to hear you.
I'm doing well.
You got
Can
it.
you hear me okay?
Yeah, I hear you. You got it.
Oh, okay. Okay, I just want to say this to Melrose Radio. I want to thank him for speaking up for the lineage like he's done and like he has been when the N.A.N they came and the president from Ghana came and was trying to destiny swap with our ancestors, even though they know that they sold them and sold us. I want to thank him for that, for being out there. And I also want to thank him for saying what he said at the National Action National Action Convention, National Action, whatever it is. And that part when he said you're beautiful but you're old, he said what he said, and however you feel about it. And I know, and I'm gonna say this and leave it here. I know good and full well, and I don't know if you talked about this earlier because I just kind of came into the chat myself a little while ago, but I know good and full well Reverend Sharpton ain't calling somebody a paid agent. We're not even gonna go there. So I don't know if you talked about that earlier, but I know he ain't talking. So I'll just leave it there.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for taking my call.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have the credibility to bring it there. He's been confirmed. It's not even it's not a rumor, it's not a theory, it's not a conspiracy. It's confirmed. He's admitted to being paid. He's admitted to that. So he doesn't have the credibility to bring that up. And this goes back to the talking point that they bring up too. Anytime there's pushback to the Democrats. Now, mind you, the pushback to the Democrats, what Melrose said, was equivalent to the pushback to the Republicans. So it wasn't it seemed like you're a Republican. He gave the same standard. He set a standard for the vote. That was it. And now it's, you're getting paid. Any pushback to the Democrats is you getting paid. Now, if he said, we're never voting for a Republican, no matter what, we got to beat Donald Trump, we got to stop all of this, nobody in that room would have accused him of being paid. Nobody. You can say what you want
Exactly.
about
It's a
Donald Trump and the
projection.
Republicans, but you say something about the Democrats, now you getting paid? Now you're an agent, provocateur? Okay.
Exactly. It's a projection at best. Thank you for taking my call. Black first.
No, black first too. Thank you for calling. All right. All right. Who's the next caller? We're going to get to caller from area code 983. You're on live. Oh, hold on. Let me reset the
certified
timer.
salute.
Okay, go ahead.
Certified salute, Afro. Can you hear me?
I hear you well. Certified salute to you too, brother.
This is Brother Jesse Paris out of Denver, Colorado.
Okay, I got you. What's on your mind?
Well, first I want to let the family know I am on the ballot here in the state of Colorado for House District 8. So spread the word on that. That's East Denver and Park Hill here in Denver, Colorado. But in regards to this, shout out to Brother Melrose. I agree with the previous speakers. He did the damn thing. We need more Melroses in every city, town, county in this country. I do the same thing that Melrose do every Monday at City Council. There's no excuse for it. It's election season. We need to pull up every time they have these little town halls, these little forums. We need to have at least one of us in the room to ask those questions and to demand that they do something tangible for us. Otherwise, they're not getting our vote. That goes for the Democrats, that goes for the Republicans, and that goes for the independents as well. We're not playing with these people no more. They should have learned from 2024. We're not playing about our tangibles. If they're not going to do nothing specifically for us, they're not getting our vote. All the fear mongering, all the shame browing, SBN, shame blaming and explaining is not going to get it. And the shame on you, Al Sharpton. You should be ashamed of yourself, but you don't have no shame. You got the audacity to call our brother a paid provocateur when you, like Sister Elena said, are it's like the pot calling the kettle black. So I'll end it there. Appreciate you, Afro. Keep up the good work. And continue to demand something tangible for your vote, Black family, all the way between now and 2100.
Yes, sir. Much respect to you. Appreciate you, bro. Thank you for that. All right, that's Jesse Pierce or Print Jesse Pierce, yeah, in Colorado. Okay, let's see this caller. Normally we don't do anonymous calls, but I'm gonna see. This caller is you calling on private or some type of anonymous number. Your number is coming up anonymous, so
Yeah, I had to.
okay. Why'd you have to?
Because the line, the line that I'm using.
Okay.
But yeah, I just wanted to say that black folks, we have no friends. I noticed that a lot of our black people, they like to align with everybody, right? And that was the reason why the Democrat Party particularly hid our history from us, right? Because if you don't know your history, you don't know your enemies, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's with any race. If you don't know your history, you're gonna be running around thinking everybody's cool with you, when really they're really out to stab you in your back, right?
Yeah.
Does that make sense? So the fact that the black Americans have been voting for this particular party all of these years, and we're wondering why our neighborhoods are looking the way they're looking, because we're going in the wrong direction. And I landed there. Have a great day.
You too, thank you. Yeah, that's real talk. I mean, what is insanity, y'all? We keep doing the same thing over and over again, and they keep saying stuff is gonna change. Al Sharpton that's literally Al Sharpton is promoting insanity. Talking about what we gotta keep voting in the people. That's insane. First off, y'all literally do not deserve a million chances to not do right. Y'all don't deserve that. Y'all lucky if we give y'all a second chance. We gave Obama a second chance, and then Biden was the third chance. How many chances do you guys honestly believe y'all deserve in such a short period of time? In a very short period of time. What do y'all y'all deserve no more chances? What are we talking about? Caller from area code 312.
Yes, can you hear me?
I hear you, yeah.
Yes, so great show tonight. So all I have to say is with the Democrats, they're pretty much dead in the water. I don't foresee them winning any more elections without us. We've been putting them in office for 60 plus years. They're not doing right by us. We have finally woken up. If they're gonna want us to vote for them en masse again, they're gonna have to start talking about policy. All these getting these rappers and these ball players to speak on our behalf that don't know nothing about politics, that's not going to work. And all this, oh, Trump's the bad guy and Donald Trump and this and that and that and this, the Republicans are bad. Yeah, the Republicans ain't shit either. But the Democrats ain't shitting up. So all this, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that, that's not going to work.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all are going to have to start talking about policies if y'all want us to get up and vote, or we're just not going to vote for you at all. So they're going to have issues now, and I'm here for it.
Yeah. I'm here for it too. I'm ready for the smoke. Like Al Sharpton sitting up there talking about he ready for the smoke. I'm ready for the smoke, and they're gonna see real smoke.
Right. Yeah. Roland Martin is he is crashing out right now.
Oh yeah, Roland is in full panic mode. Notice Roland only brings us up when he's frustrated. He is when things are going his way, he doesn't even mention us. That means right now things are not going his way.
No.
Things are not going Roland's way. This is panic. That's him hitting the panic button.
Exactly. At the end of the day, because they get these black talking heads that think that they can speak on their behalf, you know, they got him on there and they're talking to Roland Martin because the Democrats feel that he can deliver the black vote, and he has not done that. Like our generation, they're not listening to him. The baby boomers, that's really his audience. And a lot of them are just dying out. So he doesn't have the influence on black voters anymore. The new black media does. So he got to get on board, get in line, or get out. That's simple.
That's it. That's what he got to
But
do.
yeah, I'll land there. But all I gotta say is the Democrats, they're fucked, and they're if they want black voters, then we're pretty much telling them what we're asking for. If y'all can't get us the reparations, then y'all gonna have to get us an anti-black hate crime bill. If y'all cannot start talking policies that will benefit us in our community, we're not gonna vote for you. It's that simple. There's no hot sauce and junking and driving and catfish dinners. That's not going to do anything. We're waking up, and they're mad.
Yep. That's true. Real talk. Thank you. That's true.
No problem. Good night.
You have a good night. And look, our demands are not difficult. We're not, and the craziest thing is that we're not even asking for anything that has not already been done for other people. Everything we saying we demand is things that they have just given to other people who are far less deserving and who have made far less demands and have a much smaller voting power. And they just get it instantly. And we're saying, okay, well, we need that too. And they all like, oh man, that's a tall ask. What are you talking about? You just gave it to Asians a couple days ago. Oh, that was different, you know. So no, we ain't playing that game. Caller from area code 843. You're on live.
How do you do, good brother? Certified salute.
Certified salute to you, brother. Yep.
Yes, this is James Harlem calling out of New York. The primary reason I called is to get your input on the fact that I think what might prompt these politicians is our show of force, and our show of force in us forming a super PAC of sort. And I'm coming to you as, I think, a prominent influencer to let's get the ball rolling on that, because if we take our 15 cents, we can make some dollars out of it, and not just wait for them to succumb to us not voting, but actually show some financial guts with it. And if we could somehow form a super PAC, and then we not only have our voices, but we have our money backing it. And how much money? It probably wouldn't even matter as much as the, I would say the force of us putting our monies together, because to my memory, I can never think of a time when enough Black people, or a large amount of Black people put money together for a certain ideal or a certain desire for us. So I'm not too articulate tonight, I can tell by my own ear, but my point being that maybe we can investigate and come up with ideas of how we can fund the super PAC, how we can secure it, and then we can focus on the politicians. People like, what's the young brother name who stood up for us at Al Sharpton's event?
Melrose.
Melrose, we can maybe put people like that in office, or support people like Marcel even greater in his next endeavor if it's in politics.
Okay.
But the super PAC idea,
let me
please
speak to
expound
that,
on that?
because I want to make sure I get to the rest of the callers, right? So that I do think that is something that we're going to have to be looking into. Remember, that is something Dr. Claude Anderson was talking about. He was all like, hey, you got to, we got to fund the politicians, that we got to fund our policy. Okay. You do got to buy politicians. All right. You got to finance their campaigns. You got to finance them. So there does need to be a financial aspect to it. So whether that be us just voting for, now when it comes to Marcel, it was really just us donating on an individual basis, which also can work too, to be honest. That can get people in there. But if we do want to organize something with an agenda, as far as a super PAC, that's something that can get started. And that's not difficult at all. We can just have that be specifically lineage focused. Okay, that's something we should look into, and that's something that Dr. Claude Anderson was talking about for a while too. And that way people can, I'm not saying everybody got to join it, but for the people who are looking for something that may be a little bit more structured or organized, and they can just kind of donate to that, and they can kind of trust that, that might be the way. It's an option we should explore. I definitely agree with that. It is an option we should explore, look into.
Well, I appreciate you taking my call, and thank you for all the work you do.
No, thank you, brother. I appreciate the call. Yeah. Leave no stones unturned, right? That's the saying? Leave no stones unturned. I agree. All right. Let's get to caller from area code 312.
Yes, sir, Brother Afro. Can you hear me?
I hear you loud and clear, brother.
Yes, sir. So my name, Brother Robert, calling from Chicago. So I'm going to make it short and sweet, but it was a scene from the movie Life. The movie Life showed the scene where everybody started dying off one at a time. This is what this remind me of, where these people are going to start dying off politically. Eventually, they're not going to be around anymore. Al Sharpton is going to be one of them. And there's going to be many more to come after these midterms and the general election in 2028. Because these people still playing in our face, or trying to play in our face, but we're not having it. Shout out to Brother Melrose. Shout out to that brother, because the rest of us are on code the same way, and there's going to be many more to come, especially the young Gen Zs, because the young Gen Zs is seeing the game for what it is too. So I just want to come in and say that, because these people, for Al Sharpton to even make that comment after the fact that Brother Melrose came up there and said what he said, shows the slap in the face. And the nerve of him to even say something like that, when we all know your known history from the past of being an informant for them folk. So I just want to come in and say that it's going to be a big die-off in this political arena. So I appreciate you, brother. Thanks for taking my call, and I'm out.
Appreciate the call, brother. Thank you very much. Appreciate that.
Yes, sir.
All right. Have a good one. All right. Let's get to the next caller. Caller from area code. Oh, man. We just got a flood of calls. Last couple minutes. All right. Well, we can't be on here for 4 hours, though, but I'll try to get as many of y'all as possible. Let's get to caller from area code 254. You're on live.
Hi, Afro.
How you doing?
Fine. My name is Rhonda, and I'm from Temple, Texas. And thank you for taking my call. And hello to all the B1 family. I just want to say I really appreciate this podcast. It was much needed. All your podcasts are very informative, and we appreciate that. I'm sorry, Afro, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm old. Just look over me. We have been the political mules for the Democratic Party for over 65 years. We always, back them almost blindly. Whatever they do, we follow. Well, thank God, we're finally awakened from the spell. From the spell, we're finally awakened. And we're awakening, more of us are awakening every day. And the mules are tired of the lies and the deceptions and being used like a dirty wash rag, you know, and thrown away. And the reins have been taken from the mule's neck, and they can't control us anymore. And we are in control now of our political lives. You know, they don't control us anymore, and they're going to have to come to that realization. And until they meet our demands, like the sister said earlier, if nothing else, start with the tangible of an anti-Black hate crime bill, because they're still after us out here. I mean, it's evident, you know. If we can get that anti-Black hate crime bill and have more of these people prosecuted for the crimes against us, that would be a blessing. If they just start with that and get it passed, you know, hey, we'll be with them. And I thank you for your time, Afro, and y'all have a blessed evening.
You too. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
And look, as far as the anti-Black hate crime law, that's not a difficult thing to get done. We get hate crimes done to us every single day. I'm talking about reported hate crimes, and then there's a whole bunch that are not reported every day. And we got to deal with that by ourselves. Everybody else, you look at them the wrong way. That hate crime, okay? You bump into them walking across the street, hate crime. I'm talking about you do anything, hate crime. When it comes to us, no. Y'all get so much precedent, so much evidence. They just don't want to do it. That's a super easy thing to do. There is no excuse why that can't get done. None. Caller from area code. I'm gonna be quick because there's a lot of people calling. So, caller from area code 601. You're on live.
Hi, Afro. My name is Deborah, and I'm calling you from Hattiesburg, Mississippi. I am 66 years old, and I just want to put a message out here. We tried to. We just didn't have the medium you have. We couldn't reach the masses. We could only talk at the water cooler in the car going to work, or on Saturday mornings while everybody's out doing their lawn work. That was our medium. You see, the Al Sharptons and the Jesse Jacksons didn't talk to us. The only people they talked to were the ones that could give them media time. So our voices were not heard. So please, for the young folk listening, we were there fighting too. And there's a whole lot of us right here with you. You see, the man that informed me was my grandfather, and he was born in 1886. So this fight has been going on a long time. But I thank God that you guys have what you have and are able to use that medium to reach the masses. And that's all I wanted to say. Stop on us old folks, because we're sitting right here with you. We may not be able to march, but I'd be damned if I won't feed you.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you.
I love y'all. Keep doing what you're doing.
You too. Appreciate that. Hey, we all a family here, and we all doing this together. We all in the same thing together. The hell?
That's right. Okay.
I'm sorry. I'm just looking at some notification. We all in the same boat. We all in the same fight. We all fighting the same enemy together, y'all. Caller from, I don't want to be too long because we got some callers on the line. We ain't did calls in a minute, so I'm not even surprised. Caller from area code 267.
And Afro Lee.
Yes, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
It's Curtis from Philadelphia.
Curtis. My brother. Curtis.
How you doing, sir?
I'm good. How you doing?
Yeah, all right, good, man. Yeah, I just called, man, to say, man, I take my hat off, man, to you, man, to ZZ, to what's her name, BF, and what's the other guy, Brooke. I mean, what's her name, Brooke? What's the other young brother? Man, I take my hat off to y'all, man, because man, y'all is doing righteousness, man, and I just really love hearing y'all talk, man, because y'all talk with conviction, man. Y'all talk with truth, man. Y'all talk with honesty, man. You know, I just want to say, man, keep it. Like I said, we all like that young lady before me. You know, I'm a singer too, but you know, we may not be able to march in the streets, though, but we work for you, young brother. You understand? You know, and just keep up the good work, man. You understand? And like I said, you get a chance to come to Philadelphia, man. Just say it, man. You know, I'm not rich, man, but I can afford pizzas. You know what I mean, man? You know, but
hey, we do need
keep
to
up the
eat,
good work.
so.
Yeah, just keep up the good work, man. Okay, man, and God bless all of y'all. Okay, man. It's always the president. I say, what you call it? I get mad sometimes when my phone don't act right when the notifications don't come up, man. So what I do, I just stay tuned. You understand? You know what I'm saying? You know, God bless all of y'all, man. And may God be with you. Okay, my good brother.
You too, brother.
Okay.
God bless you too, brother.
Okay.
I appreciate your support.
Okay, you have a good day.
You too.
Okay. God bless you, brother. Okay.
You too. All right. That's our brother Curtis. He always calls in. Caller from area code 615. You're on live. 615. Did you call in before? Is this your second time? I think I remember saying that. Yeah, you did call in before. 615.
Hi, this
Hey, how
is
you doing?
615.
Yeah. You called
How you
in
doing,
today,
sir?
didn't you?
No, I called in tonight 2 times tonight.
Okay. Okay. What's on your mind?
Yes. So what I was calling about, you know, since the Republican and the Democrats are both prejudiced, don't want us to really have anything. So is there any way possible we can be independent for just black people? Can vote independent, just all black people?
Well, I think we can be independent, and you can. The thing is that when it comes to major, especially the federal party right now, the major parties are really, they got the strong on the party right now. So when people talk about like starting a new party, that's a lot easier said than done, especially right now. It's a lot easier said than done.
Okay.
So we can be independent. You don't have to be affiliated with any party. You can be nonpartisan.
Okay.
And then you can vote for whoever you want to vote for. You can vote for anybody individually based off of what you believe they're going to do, which is what we're saying here. Well, I'm not saying vote for a Republican just because they're a Republican, or a Democrat just because they're a Democrat, or a black person just because they're black. I'm saying that everybody needs to pass a certain bar, a standard, to earn the vote.
That's right. Well, can you all say that then? Because they thinking, since, you know, we tell them not to vote for Democrat, they think everybody will vote for Republicans. But, you know, they're not for us either. So we need to let them know, you know, to form, independence for black people, you know, only. Just like Gino Jennings said, he said that the Republicans is the devil and the Democrats is Satan. They're just a back. Okay? So we need to be independent just for the black people. And I appreciate y'all doing this. This is just a blessing. It really is.
Well, yeah.
Thank God for you all. So I know I can't stay on here too long, but thank you all for doing this, my brother.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you calling.
Okay. Take care.
You too.
Okay. Bye-bye.
She circled back, y'all. That's that passion. All right, let's get the next caller. Caller from area code 718.
Hey, yo, can you hear me loud and clear?
Yes, sir. Loud and clear.
Yo, what's good, bro? This is Mike, Melrose.
Melrose, talk to us, bro. Let me take the timer off. Hold on. I'm gonna take the timer off for you. You don't need no timer. Go ahead. Talk to us, bro.
Hey, yo, I just wanted to say peace and thank you for everything that you've done for me and that you do for not only yourself, but for us just in general. I wanted to say thank you for that. And I just wanted to try to get one quick message out.
Yeah.
For everyone out there that has been calling into Afro show or leaving me messages or comments or just anything saying, yeah, Mike, yeah, Melrose, yeah, he's the man, go ahead. That's cool, but here's the thing. That really don't mean much to me until it's your turn and you do the same thing. We need everybody to be doing the same thing. Wherever you're at, there's not janky stuff stuff only happening in New York. It's happening all over the country. And if only one of us shows up and just stands on business, even if we get kicked out, which I often do, which I didn't in this occasion, but we just need everybody to be ready when it's their turn. And that's all I wanted to say. I'm gonna land my plane there unless there's anything you want to say or ask. But once again, I just want to take this time to say thank you for everything.
Since you're on the phone, let me ask you, the reaction that you got from the people. What was because I noticed you said, I know that's not what you want to hear, and we couldn't get the facial expression and reaction from the people. What was the reaction from the people that caused you to say that?
Well, if you look at like a lot of the footage, you'll notice it shows the N.A.N logo as well as 35. There was a lot of 35s, and none of this was planned. None of this was scripted. This was all last minute. I was freestyling, and when I got my turn to speak, I was like, man, I don't know what to say, and then I just was going with the 35. I said, hey, who in here is under 35? And like there was like a group who they probably wasn't even from New York because they just looked like they were from out of town. Because there was a bunch of people from all over the country. Mm-hmm. So it was like maybe 4 or 5 of them off in like the cut somewhere, like in the little kid corner, basically. Okay. Because this was a big ballroom. So when I initially came in there, it was kind of empty, but it got a little crowded though. It started to get packed, at least for the area that they had set up. But the like 4 or 5, they was like 20-something-year-olds. They was off in the corner somewhere. And then in front of me, there was like 3 little kids. And then right in front of me, because at one point, or maybe 2 points, you'll hear somebody clapping real loud. That's the gentleman that was in front of me. He was probably like in his 20s. And then, like I said, the 4 or 5 off in the cut, they were the only ones that was like really receptive. And you could damn near see the light bulbs above their head. Like, oh man, I ain't never really heard this before. And you can hear them, they're clapping, yeah. But all the, basically everybody else, for the most part, I'll say about 90% of the audience, they weren't receptive to it. It resonated with everybody, but they weren't receptive to it. They received it negatively.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now, the guy, you were talking to the guy holding a microphone, right? I noticed that, it appeared to me, let me say that, it appeared to me that there was, like, when you started saying things about, holding them accountable, that there was like a tug, it looked like, for the microphone. And it looked like he was talking to somebody behind you, and then you looked at him like, who is you? What was that? What did he say?
Well, like I said, none of this stuff was scripted. I didn't even know how to be able to get in there, let alone speak. So once I realized, hey, I'd be able to speak, I kind of just stood online. There was the gentleman in front of me in the wheelchair. They were in there exploiting the special needs, exploiting the elderly. It's just a whole nasty thing. But once I realized that I'd be able to speak, I'm like, man, what am I going to say? So like I said, I'm looking around. I realized the 35. I was like, I could build off of that. And then I'm also looking around. I'm realizing, like, man, besides those kids over there off in the corner, I'm like one of the youngest people here. I was like, I could build off of that. And then when I'm looking around trying to find stuff to build off of, I'm seeing other people speak before me. And then I was also seeing the other people speak before I realized I'd be able to speak. And one thing I noticed was that he was holding the microphone the whole time. So I'm like, okay, that's weird. And then once I realized I'd be able to speak, I was like, okay, that's not happening. I'm not about to sit here and just let another man, hold the mic up to my mouth and all that while I talk
normally
into
they'll
it.
have like a stand for the microphone.
Yeah, something.
You go up to the stand. That's kind of weird that he like, this is so official and well done, well put together, but he's got the microphone and you face right up in his face. That's weird.
And if you watch and listen, I say, hey, let me get it. And he says, no, I got to hold it. And I'm like, all right, well, now we twins, we holding it. Pause. But anyway, when I'm talking, and at that point, what was happening was, even before that point, I just felt the energy. I really wasn't looking, but I could like feel it and see it through my peripheral. They were kind of giving him like, hey, get him out of here, land his plane. So I was trying to like, just stay focused and get everything out. But by the time it got to that point, that was after I said Kamala's a racist. That's when, what I didn't realize until hindsight, what was happening. There was about 3 or 4, I've called them the Three Stooges, but it was about 3 or 4 plantation protectors in suits. They were supposed to be, I guess, Al Sharpton or N.A.N's security. They were supposed to escort me out, They were supposed to escort me out, which I'm used to. For all of the people out there bigging me up, do y'all not see the videos where I get escorted out? Where I get grabbed up and thrown out of these spots? Like that type of stuff happens, but still you got to be ready to do that. But anyway, that's what was happening at that point. They was like, hey man, you can hear them. Take the mic, turn the mic off. Like, did you not hear that? They were saying that.
Yeah, I knew.
They was really trying to, and he was trying to yank it.
Talking to somebody. He was like looking when you grabbed the mic. And then he did it. He looked to the side. So that's why I'm all like, there probably was like some security officer or something like that.
Yeah,
behind.
There was
or standing to the side.
Yeah,
and he looked like, hey, y'all gonna let him go? Like, what's going on? Like that. So
that was Al
Sharpton.
Sharpton.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that was their security. But I already had it in mind to leave. So as soon as I was done, I'm leaving, and as I'm leaving, there's people in the audience. They start getting up to follow me out because, hey man, we got to follow up with what you just said. Some people, they came to babble, like, hey, where you gonna get the money from? And I'm just at this point not dignifying them with something serious. So I'm like, hey, listen, man, I want the same Jordans that the Mexicans get. Well, where they gonna get the money from? Hey, get it from the same place you give them the Mexican Jordan money. I need it from the same place. Oh, but it's not. And they're thinking I'm talking about Jordans. So I'm just dismissing that whole crowd. And then there's another crowd of people who they're like, oh my God, hey, I believe everything you said. Come join this organization. I'm like, no, thank you. And these are people from all around the country. There's New Yorkers in there too, because what was happening was they was allowing the people from around the country to give their testimonies or whatever. And then they said, hey, this is the portion for New Yorkers to go. That's how I was able to speak. But yeah, overall, like I said, about 90% of the people, they were elderly, special needs, and they weren't trying to hear all of that. And I didn't go too hard on them because my smoke was really for the DNC, the GOP, the shills, the bootlicks, the tethers, and the people that are consciously, corrupt and misleading and just trying to get their own money.
Okay, I got you. How long did you stay? I'm not gonna be, I'm not gonna take up too much of your time, but I'm just glad I'm able to get you. How long did you stay after?
No, man, it's always a pleasure and honor to be here.
Well, thank you.
I'm sorry, can you ask the question again?
Yeah. How long after you were done speaking, did you go sit back down, or like did people come and try to talk to you immediately? Like, what was that like immediately after you were finished? Did you,
like I said, as soon as you see me walk away, I'm walking out of the ballroom. Walking out of the ballroom, and as I'm walking out, I see the crowd, like the people who are following me. I see them get up, and I already know what time it is because this always happens. I see them; they're following me, and then to the left, I'm seeing the Three Stooges. They're so-called, calling themselves escorting me out, which they didn't. I was leaving anyway, but they were walking behind me. And then as I get out of the ballroom into like the main hallway conference area, they had called the hotel's main security.
Damn.
The guy, when the hotel's main security came up to me, he was like, yo, Mike, it turned out it was a dude I went to high school with.
Wow.
So he was like, yo, Mike, you are crazy. Like, he wasn't even surprised. And so I was able to chill and, like I said, have those exchanges and interactions with the people that followed me out. And by that point, Sharpton's people, they went back in and they continued on with the conference. But maybe like that whole ordeal, talking with the people, talking with my man that was the head of security, that probably was like 10 minutes, and that's being generous at best, that I stayed in the little hallway area afterwards.
Okay. All right. I got you. Well, BX asked a question. She says she has a theory and asks, were you born in Jacobi Hospital?
Man, no. No. Come on.
I don't
BX.
know what that is, or I'm not. So,
Yeah. Well, let's not do this. No, not Jacoby. But come on,
Okay.
she knows. She's gonna put the right one. She's gonna put the right one. She's gonna say, "Oh, I know it. I know exactly where this guy's from."
Okay.
Word. But like I said, my main thing was I wanted to just say thank you for everything, and then I wanted to tell everybody, yeah, you could see me and give me props, but you better be ready when it's your turn.
Yeah.
When they come to your town, I want to see you at the spot, and you don't got to do what I do or whatever, but just say what's on your mind. Just speak truth to power, and the ancestors, the spirit is going to lead you. The spirit is always going to lead you. Like, don't be scared, even though I be afraid sometimes, but it's just going to always work out. As long as you have it in your mind to do the right thing, like, you don't have to worry, oh, I'm not the best speaker, I'm shy. No, when it's time, as long as you put yourself there, you'll figure it out. Because, yo, bro, I woke up 6:30. Like, I was around Times Square for about an hour trying to figure out, what am I doing here? Like, there was no guarantee that I was even going to get in. My plan was to really go outside and wait for, like, the limousines and the SUVs, the Escalades and stuff to pull up, and then to just like record a video of me saying, hey, we're not with the Secretary of Reconciliation, because that's what they were trying to push. They had Al Green there, if that's his real name, but they had Al Green there the day before with all the big DNC folks. Like, this was the big DNC thing. They all came from all around the country. And then, like I said, when I heard Secretary of Reconciliation, I'm like, oh, that's happening in New York? I got to go tell them we're not jacking that. And like I said, when I pulled up, I was out there for about an hour. I didn't know what I was going to do. And then eventually I figured a way to get in. And then shout out to the two, and I don't use the term YNs. I don't use that term. But these was YNs. They found the like two most stereotypical YNs they could find. They hired them, and these were the two people in charge of who gets in. You feel me? They was like checking people's registration. I'm like, oh man, thank you God. Like, this is a layup. Like, word. This is a layup. But yeah, that's how I got in, and that's how it went down.
Okay. All right. Hey, well, you was just y'all see that? He was just really at the right place at the right time, really. He didn't even know it was going to go down like that. He was just at the right place at the right time. He didn't know even if he was going to get in, didn't know if he was going to speak. But, I mean, he just put himself in the position, and the rest happened the way it was supposed to. Everything was the way it was supposed to. I know on Twitter, people call it X. I still call it Twitter, man. You posted something and said that you had a YouTube channel, and your YouTube channel really been doing good. What's your YouTube channel?
Oh, yes, sir. Thank you. I definitely appreciate that. It's Melrose Radio.
Okay.
Spelled straight like that. MELROSE space RADIO, or maybe no space, but yeah, Melrose Radio. And I just crossed over to 1,000 subscribers.
Put that in the chat room so the people can take a screenshot and go to the channel. Can one of the mods do that? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, and yo, I definitely appreciate that. And yo, Jason Black, he was giving coverage and commentary on my submission at the N.A.N joint, and he was like, yo, if you can't do this, what I just did, he was like, if you can't do that, you're looking at me and you're looking at us as entertainment, and you're the problem. And I want to reiterate that, because I'm not the brains. I'm not the, like I said, we're all special and unique. We all have our own things to do. But like the things that you do, the things that Jason Black's able to do, like this broadcasting thing, that's real. It takes talent, skill, gift, technique, knowledge. Like it takes a lot to do that. And then also to be able to do it in person. I was watching this one thing. You probably done so much you probably won't remember, or maybe you do. But there was this one thing you was at, and somebody was like babbling. It was like so hard for me to watch. I started to fast forward, and the whole time as I'm fast forwarding, like you're just there keeping your composure, and as I'm taking breaks to listen, they're still babbling. I'm like, oh, I can't do that. So for that other guy that called in, yeah, don't have me be nobody. He talking about, yeah, we could get Melrose to be elected. No, I don't have the composure to do that. So like I said, man, I enjoy watching you, but as much as I enjoy watching you, I listen to what you say. And like I said, when it's time to do what I got to do, I'm ready. I'm equipped. I listen to Afro Elite. I listen to Black Alpha. I listen to Tariq. I listen to Jason Black. I listen to Professor Black Truth. I listen to ZZ. I listen to BX. I listen to the New Black Media. I listen to what's going on. I'm listening to these spaces. I'm in these spaces. And even if I get invited on, I'll probably just, address the topic or whatever and land back down. But I'm really around because I know I'm not the smartest person in the room, and I'm here to learn. So for those of you out here, don't get caught up in looking at Afro Elite or Melrose or Tariq or any of us and looking at us as some sort of superheroes or celebrities or popular people. No, we want the same things you want. We just go in to get it. Like we just out here, and you don't have to be a streamer or a content creator or a podcaster or show up to every meeting or event or do some abstract stuff. You could just live your regular life, and then whenever it shows up, whenever anything happens, and it's time for you to not just have a violent and janky disposition, but whenever it's time to just speak truth to power, those opportunities, they happen every day in life. And when they happen, just be ready. And even if it ain't no cameras around, you're still a star and you're still viral and you still matter. And what you do, it still counts. So I just want to say that. I want to land there. Thank you, Afro. I want to continue to listen. Peace.
Peace to you, brother. Thank you.
No doubt.
Yep. And like he said, I think it's very important, y'all, when it's our turn, because it's going to be our turn, y'all. When it's our turn, we need to step up and we need to do that. Make it clear exactly what it is. No check, no vote. Real simple. Cut and dry, point blank, period. You going to offend some people. He knew he was going to offend some people. He knew that. It didn't bother him. It did not bother him. He said what he said. And it struck a nerve. It struck a nerve in Al Sharpton. That's the only thing he was pretty much talking about for a whole hour after that. But they kicked our brother out. I knew they did that. I knew Al Sharpton wasn't going to talk all greasy if Melrose was still in the room. Not that Melrose would have did anything, but I knew he wasn't talking like that if he was still in the room. Oh, I didn't see who it was. Yes, you did. Yes, you did. You was watching on the thing. It's streamed. You was watching. Oh, is he still in here? You know he gone. Shout out to Melrose. Let's get to the next caller. Hey, our brother Melrose, we got over 1,000 people in. He should have a pretty big boost in subscribers by the time this is all said and done. All the work he put in lately. Let's get to caller from area code 469. You're on live. 469, you're on live.
Hi.
How you doing?
Hello. Hi. This is Coffee from Dallas, Texas. Thank you so much for everything you do for us. I appreciate it. And one thing that I noticed is that that I'm up in age. I'm Gen X, and I'm over 50. Let me hear it. Let my friend on it. Okay, I noticed that they give the Democrats, they give everybody funding. They've been giving immigrants funding for years. We've been watching it give thousands and billions of countries, and they do this all year long. But they can't give us. They shouldn't. If everybody, it's really, this is like discrimination. They give everybody all this funding, and they've been doing it for years. But they can't give Americans. They can't. Americans should be able to walk up in these same organizations, and we should be able to get funding. This is just discrimination altogether. And to me, we shouldn't give them no votes. We need a check. If they can give those people in LA all that, some reparations for what they say I did, and they give money to people all year long, then they need to give us the money. We need an executive order, and we need to get some money all year long like everybody else.
Yep.
That's how we need to do it. They want some votes. Well, we need an executive order signed, and we need money all year long given to us, billions of dollars like they give everybody else in America and all over the world.
Oh yeah.
I land my point.
Oh yeah. I'm talking about they hooking these people up. These people ain't paying for nothing. These people sitting up there getting houses, food, debit cards, credit cards, food stamps. They getting everything. And if they break the law, they getting a slap on the wrist. I mean, I'm talking about they just getting everything.
Yeah.
This is the land of milk and honey for them. I can't even really blame them for breaking it. If the country was this good to me, I would understand that. This is the land of milk and honey for them.
Yeah.
That's all. Yeah. Hey, at this point, okay, all right. So since we know you got it like that, to your point, okay, fine. You just proved to us that you got it like that. Y'all can handle that type of bill. So okay, it's our turn. That's all I'm saying.
We need ours too. Don't ask us for a vote, and we sitting here watching you give the whole world billions of dollars, and we get nothing.
Yeah.
No, it don't work like that. I don't know why they want to act like we so stupid, like we don't see what they're doing. But this what they've been doing for years.
Yeah. You're absolutely right. I appreciate your call. Thank you, sister.
And thank you, and I appreciate everything y'all doing, and I'm here to support y'all. Okay.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate your support. Okay. All right.
And
my bad. My bad. All right. Caller from area code, but she was right though. But I hit the button too quick. Caller from area code 814. You're on live.
Hello.
Hello. How you doing?
Oh, I'm all right, and you?
I'm
my
good.
My complaint is all of this money going out to these migrants or whatever you want to call them, and there is nothing for the black people that's been here for years, and we've been fighting for years for everybody and anybody, and then everybody come over here and get a free check or free pass. What's going on? And then another thing I don't like is Democrats, us black folks, keep voting for Democrats, and Democrats ain't doing a damn thing for none of us, and they ain't gonna do nothing for us, but they'll do it for these other people.
Listen, not only will they do it for other people, these people are not even citizens. They're not even nuisance. They're not even citizens, and they doing this. They bending over backwards for them.
And this is where my complaint is. Why do us black people, us black folks here in the United States keep voting for Democrats? And you know good and damn well what they doing for these other people. You know good and well our stupidity is we vote for them. Once we vote for them, then we get them in office. Then they turn around and kick us in the face and treat these other people like they go. We are tired of it. I know in my community we see what's going on. And then these Spanish, and they don't, none of them like us. And then the other, these Africans, they hate us. I mean, all these different nations. And it wasn't for us, our forefathers, fighting for these rights, they wouldn't even have their ass even over here. But yet they stick their finger in our face and act like, oh. No. These Democrats need to be shut down by us black people. No more freebies unless you give me something.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah, I agree.
They trash. Like they can't do nothing. They can't do nothing for us. But when they get in the office, oh shit! I forgot what you said. That crap.
Mm-hmm.
They ain't never been for us, and they never will be us. That's why this come up in November. I'm not voting for them. Some of the bitches. For what? I'm voting for for me to strangle my own self. I'm gonna kill myself to help somebody else who don't give a damn about me.
That's true. I'm gonna let you land your plane, but I feel you. I feel where you coming from. I feel you. I do.
And I'm happy to keep saying FBA. I will say FBA till I die. That's how long I'm gonna be an FBA.
Yes, ma'am. I appreciate that. I appreciate your call. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. You have a good one. All right, we're gonna wrap it up shortly. We're gonna get to the last few because then we got to get to the super chats. So call it from area code 310. You're on live.
Blessings upon blessings, brother Afro Elite.
Blessings to you, brother. How you doing? Talk to us.
Shout out, bro. Shout out to the brothers. And at the same time, my thing is with I actually forgot brother's name, man. Brother that
Melrose.
made that Melrose. Yeah, I even put a note in there. But brother Melrose, shout out to brother Melrose. The thing is, isn't Al Sharpton the same guy that stood with the African Union before the European Union fighting for Ghana?
Is.
For reparations?
He sure is.
Ain't that the same dude? So he have an attitude, and why was he pissed off? He was perturbed. He was offended. He felt it in his gut. He was mad that the brother said what he said. And as an elder black man, why would you do that? Makes me think about what Jason Black always says. These old, you know what? Lord have mercy. That's crazy. But yeah, he stood with Ghana at the European Union fighting for reparations for Africa. But this is the same guy that's offended. Up on behalf of our reparations. So now we know where his mentality is.
Yeah.
I'll land with that.
That's true. I mean, I'm talking about Al Sharpton was out of body. This man was he was heated. I didn't play for you all the whole thing. Mind you, I sped it up, but I still didn't get to finish the whole thing. He went pretty much the rest of the time speaking about what Melrose had to say. I'm talking about Melrose hit a nerve with him.
Agent Sharp.
He hit that nerve, man. He really did,
yeah,
man. He really did.
Yes, sir. Tariq put him on blast too. He played that whole thing with Al Sharpton speaking his own confessions.
He sure did. I appreciate your call, brother.
Right on, B1. Dear black people, we need to form our own permanent interest party.
All right. Yeah, it's a lot of organizing that we got to get done. Caller from area code 313. You're on live.
Yes, how you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
All right, my name is Jerry Ellis. Oh, okay. Resurrection, we have to get all these old people out of office. And we got to get our young kids back. They got the young, fresh minds. They doing computers, which these old people, when they was born, computer wasn't even out. Right? And we not doing the correct thing for our young youth. We're not letting them take over, and we stand behind them and let them sit back and debate with each other. We sit back and watch on the politicians for best benefit for them. We still on the old path. Everybody we talking about, they over 70 years old. So they have that stage of mind of an old person, really. And we need our own schools. We need to sue all these sport players, all these rappers that started off in the cities. All the music people play music, Motown, all of them took all that money out of the cities. They took all the money from the blacks, even the car industry. We had that. We the one gave them ideas. Every time you an engineer or they are discoverers. They discover we know how to do this. So once we do it and get to them, it's theirs. We're not getting paid for it. Until we start getting paid for everything we invented and everything we doing, even in the factory, all these cars. We told them how to do that. They probably gave us what, a car for the weekend or $1,500, and they use that forever. They're not paying us for our labor, for our thoughts, for our ideas. Then your kids go to school. You say, "Oh, my kid's smart." And so then, since we don't have our own black schools, when I was in school, we took up metal shop, wood shop. We took up trades. That means you always can eat. And blueprint and drafting. They took and put it on the computer and kicked it out of the black schools. We don't own no hospitals. We don't own no all black schools. We don't have a black community. And every time, all our tax dollars are going to the Arabs and the Jews. But I noticed them. They got all one religion. I look at them, they say, Assalamu alaikum, alhamdulillah, rakama. And then you got the other Jews. Jesus was a Jew. And the really Jews is black, is the Israelite. So you got all the white Jews get the money. They're not really Jews. They are gypsies.
Yep. I'm gonna let you land your plane so I can I gotta get to the other few callers. But yeah, I mean, real talk. You going in, that's deep.
Oh, but that's real talk. You and there having blacks talking, they study crime, but ain't getting to the point of solving the problem. You know, we've been crying for ever since the '60s. All the freeways took over our business. They even took the fruit trees out of the yards. Now we got to buy and they say organic. And now we're getting cancer.
Yeah. And to your point about them giving the money overseas.
It's not my
no, because you brought it up. That's not your whole point, but that is a point you made. You know, you're making a lot of good points, and you're making a lot of points, and I just want to harp on that. You know, them giving the money overseas and all of that. This just should further motivate us to get mobilized and organized into fighting for our agenda. Okay.
Well, you got to get the lawyers on the side to sue them, to sue the Democrats and Republicans and the sport players and the music industry to bring the money back to where they started from, the blacks. Everything they did, they got it from the blacks.
Yep. Yeah, we can't. You know what? That's something too. We need legal representation in the courtroom too. That's something we need to get behind too, because our lawyers, like, let's be honest, our lawyers need to stand up. So, I mean, it's a lot of good points you made, brother, and I appreciate your call.
And we got all these different organizations, But they're not working with us. I guess they own the organization.
Yep, but I
Every
appreciate.
organization. Okay, go ahead. I just want to put it out there.
Yeah, that's true. Thank you for your call, bro. Thank you.
All right.
All right. All right. Let's get caller from area code 608. We're gonna do a few more calls.
Well, hey, y'all.
How you doing?
Hello.
Yeah, how you
I'm
doing?
doing great. How are you guys? FBA B1 for real. Okay. I just have just a couple of things that I really think is imperative for us. We really, really, really need to boycott the midterms. We need to show our power. You know, either voting for the Democrat or Republicans are not showing the voting power that we have. You know what I mean?
I feel you. I do. Yeah. I feel you. Let them know how serious we are.
Because that is really the only way we're going to send a strong message right now. All of this going back and forth because really none of them are really trying to, they don't have a platform for us, you know, just like with the Al Sharpton thing, you know, what they were saying, you know, like something is wrong with us asking for reparations. Like Al Green said, well, I know this is controversial, you know. Ain't nothing controversial with them giving us some darn money after we done voted for the Democrats for 60 years and ain't got nothing. But that, to me, that is the number one thing we need to do, because they got this dignity bill. I don't know if you know about, have you heard about that dignity bill where they want to give the dreamers a citizenship? They want to fast track asylum seekers. They really, really, really want to erase FBAs because we are the only ones that fight. And this is serious. So, you know, I'll land my plane, brother.
That's true. And I like that. I like that message. They gonna learn. They gonna learn. They gonna learn that it wasn't.
Well, no, I don't know if they're gonna learn, because I am telling you, and I'm gonna say this. I'm launching my YouTube channel because I always call in with you, but you know, you probably don't remember me. On the 23rd of April.
I got your name written.
Yeah. You know me. I got a big mouth. But I've been around, and I have been advocating for prison reform for like 20 years, and they ain't done that. That is one thing. But they'll give these illegals, then they don't know when they come over here, just like them Venezuelans. You know, half of them came from the jails. Half of them were killers. You know, when that Venezuelan president let them out of the jails and Biden let them over here, and they are wreaking all kind of havoc. One just murdered somebody in Chicago. You know what I mean? But if
I'm gonna let you land your plane. I'm gonna let you land your plane.
Okay. Okay. All righty, huh? Bye bye.
All right. That's Miss Ursa right there. I remember my callers, y'all. Sometimes if they call in multiple times, you know, because sometimes it's people's first time calling or whatever, or they call one time like a year ago, you know. But if people call in multiple times and stuff like that, I remember. Some of y'all numbers I just remember. I know Miss Niecy's number. You know, I don't even got to pick up. I'm like, okay, well, that's her on the line. So, yeah, I remember. Let's get to the next caller. We've been on here for a few hours. We ain't going to be on here too long. Let's not push the envelope too much. So, caller from area code 832. You are on live.
What's up, Afro Elite? How you doing, man?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. How you doing?
Man, I'm cool, man. Hey, man, look, I just wanted to say, man, like, I get what the sister was saying and stuff like that about boycotting. But I'm going to tell you like this, how Al Sharpton, like how he felt towards the brother Melrose, that's how the Democrats gonna feel whenever they get back in power. So to spite us, you already know what they're gonna do. They're gonna live there and they gonna give all the benefits, everything to these immigrants just to say F us. You understand what I'm saying? Because that's what's that's their voting base. You understand what I'm saying? So for me, I feel like, okay, the boycott, yeah, I'm with it. I sat my butt on the couch. You understand what I'm saying? I sat my butt on the couch. But at the same time, in order to flex our power, we're gonna have to show our voting power in the midterms. You dig what I'm saying? Even if we boycott the midterms, you dig what I'm saying, or whatever, we're gonna have to flex our power during the next presidency. Because I'm gonna tell you this, if we don't, the immigrants mad at them, mad at the Republicans. You think I'm saying? And I'm not a Republican or a Democrat.
Mm-hmm.
You understand what I'm saying? I'm an independent. I don't give a damn about none of them. I give a damn about my black pockets and my FBA children and my FBA wife. That's what I care about. You understand what I'm saying? So, I'm looking at it like this here. If you want to boycott something, boycott, write a name in for the presidency. Just write your ancestors from what you say, 1776 or 17, wherever you could trace your ancestry from. But during slavery, mine is Eliza Brown Small from out of Erath, Louisiana. I'm writing that in. You understand what I'm saying? So if you don't know the name, you find out the name and you write it in and put FBA. You ain't got to vote for nobody, but make sure that on that presidency, your ancestor just ran for president. You understand what I'm saying?
Yep.
But I'm gonna land my plane, man. But I just wanted to say, man, bro, I follow y'all, man. I love y'all, man, and stuff like that, man. But I just want to get it out there that the sitting on the couch thing, okay, that's cool. But we don't want these immigrants, bro. These immigrants is gonna flex their power. I got a Nigerian friend. He said whenever they come here, they get classes. They get classes on how to build their credit. They get social security numbers and stuff like that, and they don't mess with their credit. But they get trade lines. They got classes on how to, on how to build their credit up and stuff like that. And they got people that come to those classes because in order to assimilate into the United States, you have to go to these classes. So they have people that come and they promote, hey, I'm a credit repair person, or hey, I'm a business, I do trade lines for businesses and stuff like that. Why you think all these gas stations got Indians, man? Why you think most of the Nigerians got these braid shops? You understand what I'm
that's
saying?
true. It's not a coincidence. Them being flooded in
it's not
a bunch of gas stations and Dunkin' Donuts and all that stuff and Subway. That's not a coincidence. That's not a coincidence. All of that is by design.
And I'm gonna tell you this, man. You understand what I'm saying? They don't want to give it to the black man. We gotta hang outside we hang outside the stove. I'm not saying we have to. We hang outside the stove and give them people all our business, and they don't give nothing back to our community, man. Nothing. You understand what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is we gotta flex our power, because I'm starting to see, man. My uncle, he started a tire business, man. He doing real good. I'm like, well, the Mexicans must have ran back across the border or something for you to be getting this business like this here. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I like that. I want to see black people do more and own more businesses, and I'm starting to see that. So I feel like, man, just going back to the voting thing, man. I don't think we should sit on the.
I'm gonna let you land. I'm gonna let you land real quick, and then I'm gonna.
I got you, brother. I got you. Yeah, well, I'm landing my plane right there, man. But I just want to talk to the people, man. Let them know, all the people that's in here, man. Like, man, let's step on their neck. The final blow, the final kill shot is gonna be either in the midterms or the presidency to give whoever gonna benefit us, power. I land my plane, brother.
Yeah, appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you.
Yes,
yep. Listen, as far as the midterms is concerned, I'm not telling nobody what to do, except be strategic. That's it. We do have to understand, depending on where you may be, there may not be any type of good option to vote for, period. You may be somewhere in Alabama or something, midterms come up, you got two equally bad options. What are you supposed to do? There's no strategic move to support either one of them. It's not a smart play. Now, okay, that's Alabama. So you sit on the couch in Alabama. Now, in New York, it may be a different circumstance because there's different people on the ballot in New York. Or Chicago, it may be a different circumstance. There's different people on the ballot in Chicago. You might, depending on where you are or what your stance may be, you might sit out. You might say, hey, I'm on the couch. I ain't seeing nothing I like. Or you might be, depending on where you are and the circumstances, depending on who's on the ballot, you know what I'm saying? You might be able to move strategically and, get some points on the board. It could be. But all I'm saying, I'm not telling nobody what to do except be strategic. Know what you're doing and then make the best move that you can make given the information and the ability you have. That's all I'm saying. All right. Let's get to what's the next caller? Come on. After this, we'll take like two more calls and then that'll be that. Caller from area code 216.
Hello?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, hi. Thank you for picking me and stuff. Oh, well, I'm calling from Boston. I want to try to share this story to you real quick. I just recently found how the Democrats have done everything to try to keep us on a plantation. Over like a year and a half ago, working on my student loans like forever, never really thought about it. And before the election, I had contact Department of Education, and they told me that I made only 61 payments. So I said, okay, fine. And so once Republicans get in office, come to find out, I know I was all worried about that. And let me tell you this also, the Democrats kept sending me letters saying, they're going to cancel student loans and, we're going to work with you. But I ended up voting for the Republicans first time, 64 years old, my first time voting. To make a long story short, the Democrats told me I only had 61 payments. Republicans told me I had 114 payments. Okay, a year later, 114. So I ended up saying, okay, well, what about, I lived in Cleveland. They said, we don't have that. We don't have the information. Send it in. I sent it in. I ended up making 155 payments. So my student loan should have been done. Once you get 120, they pay it off. So the Republican Party paid off $100,000. Okay, so I just want my people to know that the Democrats, they're not for us. They're not for us, and we got to start showing support for them, and we got to do something else. I'll land my plane. Thank you, brother, so much.
Appreciate that
for having me on.
Appreciate that. Hey, real talk. Hey, look, let's be honest. We need to stop looking at one party like the good guy or the bad guy. You might be able to maneuver your way and get more stuff done with the Republicans, but then, of course, they ain't gonna say that though. They keep making it
right,
like
and the sad thing
is the party of student loans and all that. But I appreciate your call, brother.
Right. And the sad thing, real quick, the sad thing is one of my best friends. I lost one of my best friends. He's saying, "You voting for them? What are they gonna do for you? Trump's not gonna do anything for you." And he did. So I ended up losing my friend. Okay, thank you. I land my plane. Take care.
Right, appreciate that. All right.
All right.
Okay. Let me see. Caller from area code. We'll take a few more because people just keep calling in now. Yeah, we'll take a few more. But caller from call. I said caller from call. Y'all see what I'm doing? Caller from area code 314. You're on live.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
All right. Well, I'm calling to say we, the people, FBAs or whatever, we need to somehow stop Al Sharpton from even speaking on FBAs. Somehow he needs to be shut down and canceled.
He don't need to be a spokesperson anymore. You know, especially after the Ghana stuff that he did and going to the, you know, the stuff he did with Ghana. He's showing that he don't really care about FBAs.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
I think he needs to be canceled, and that's what we need to do: get some of these people that's working out as Democrats, and get them out of office, and try to find better candidates. Somebody that will speak up for us and understand, you know, what's right and what's wrong, because we do need reparations.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm just so tired of people that's supposed to be of our lineage just, you know, voting against us. Really, they act like they don't want to help us and change this thing around. And it's been going on for years. Just think about all the police killings and things. They didn't even speak on that or either try to stop it or make a bill, you know, or pass a law. So, and until we do that, I think we're gonna stay at a dead end.
You know. Yeah.
That's all I
we
have
waking
to
up.
say.
We waking up. We getting it. We getting it. I mean, we have several callers in here letting us know it's a good sign to me. But you know, we do got some, we gotta keep working. We can't slow down. That's it. We can't slow down. I appreciate your call. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Okay, and like I said, we really do need to get those Al Sharptons out.
Yeah, we do. All of them. They all gotta go. So I appreciate your call.
I feel that way. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Okay. Come on. All right. Caller from area code 616. You're on live. Caller from area code 616.
Oh, man. My phone's gonna die.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna let you go charge your phone then. You have a good night. All right. Okie doke. Caller again from area code 646. All right. All right then. All right. We just gonna stop taking calls from area code 646. How about that? How about that? Okay, we'll wrap things up right here then. All right. We can't end the night without hearing from a New Yorker herself. So BX is on the line, everybody. Yeah, BX is on the line. Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, you see I saved your number. I didn't
Can you
even
hear
ask
me?
who you were. I already knew who it was. Okay.
I have to get myself up here because I'm in the chat just, I love y'all. I love y'all. And I said I'm not going to argue with who votes and who doesn't. But boycotting the midterms is not an option. And I'm glad that you cleared it. You kind of came in with what I should put in my, when I start speaking about this. If you are in a sanctuary city, we will be stuck in a cycle of complaining what the immigrants are getting, right? Because sanctuary cities are ran by who? Democrats. At this point, I honestly feel that it's going to take a Republican candidate to kind of clean up New York. And when you go to, stop and frisk, they never ended for us, right? But even if we don't go to Republican, we do have candidates in certain areas who are FBA or willing to assist FBA. I interviewed two of them. I believe you sat in on one, Afro, Dr. Rhonda Hamilton from Washington. Remember? So we have to can. Yeah. And then I met a man who, his last name is Gibson. I believe he will be going against Hochu, or he already, ran against Hochu. So we do have people that need support. You do have to canvass your city and your state. But listen, guys, The Democrats aren't for us. They are the party of the immigrants, not the party of the people. I believe that we have to close cycles out. What I mean by that is we have to shake up the Democrats. See how Jasmine doesn't have a seat anymore? Imagine if Yvette Clarke, who's on the Congressional Black Caucus, the Caribbean Caucus, the Haitian Caucus, she's on the, she invented the caucus for multicultural media. And in New York, we're locked out of the media, right? But she created a caucus to help her people. She got the Caribbean Count Bill passed, and she wrote it in 2009. It passed in 2024. What it is a Caribbean delineation bill. So when they say, oh, we're hateful, we're divisive, they did this first. And the Caribbean Count Bill gives them a check mark on the census so that they could be accurately the population counted for funding. Not only does she get the Caribbean and the Haitians TPSs and funding here, certain programs here in the States, she stimulates their economy with funding too. So people like Karen Bass, our Cali brothers and sisters are working their hearts out, trying to get themselves in office. So if you know Black Vanguard, he's sponsoring, I'm not sure if it's him himself, I gotta ask him, but he is trying to get one of their representatives out of office and one of us in those seats. Please don't let their work go to waste by voting the couch if you're in places like Cali, New York, Chicago. We know we got to get the Dems out of Chicago. Washington, even Atlanta is saying they're having problems, stuff like that. We found the connection to a Georgia representative named Nakima Williams to Yvette Clarke. And guess what? They got some incentives for Haiti. And I hear she only fights for the white tea rainbow community. Please, y'all, please. I know if you want to vote the couch, do it by a mail-in ballot, because right now we can still mail in a ballot. But we got to get them out of here. So thank you for clarifying that we sanctuary city should vote.
You're also here too. I can also clarify. When you get a ballot, right? Whether that's the Republican, Democrat, whatever, when you get a ballot, there's a lot of different positions and things to vote for. You don't have to, if you want to go and just vote for one person, that's all you have to do. If you saying, look, you can leave these ballots empty, or you can write stuff in. Like they'll make it seem like you got to vote Democrat down ballot, period. You don't got to do that at all. If you say, I like this one person and this is the only person I'm going in there to vote for, you can only vote for that one person. You don't got to vote for nobody else. Okay. I just want to add that to people. Let people know.
Thank you. And I'm going to just touch on the Dignity Act. That's why I said, Afro, you messaging me about what time we go live. You didn't make it to mine where we talked about the Dignity Act and a call to action. The call to action is for people to contact their representatives because it's a bipartisan bill. That means both sides of the aisle are trying to push this bill where they give amnesty to the undocumented / illegal immigrants. And what that entails is they have to pay a restitution fee, I think, of $7,000, ensure that they have not committed a crime since, I think, 2020. They're going to give some protections to the Dreamers because they've been here for so long and they want them to have citizenship. And both Republican and Democrats, they got 40 co-sponsors. And see this, the U.S. Freedmen's Project, I see Brooke was in the chat earlier. They've gotten two sponsors for their bill. So we get a hard time, but these immigrants got 40 co-sponsors already, right? And so what I'm asking you to do, because we can't vote on that actual bill, contact your representative, and then tell them, no, amnesty for immigrants, because that's what it is, harms foundational Black Americans. And tell them why. Come on, we in these talks every day. We know what's going on. We see what's happening in New York, Chicago, Florida, Atlanta, Washington. Like we see in all these, Detroit. Michigan has some problem. Not Michigan, not Detroit, Dearborn. You know, we've seen the white men come out, against their immigrant class. So we got to stop the yard. And one way to do that is contact your representatives and tell them to vote no for the Dignity Act. And I'll land there, Afro. Thank you for letting me speak tonight.
Of course. Absolutely. Thank you, BX.
You're welcome.
All right.
B1 family.
Black first to you. And look, that's a perfect way to end it. I got to say, that's a perfect way to end it. I can't end it better. There's a couple more people. We'll do another call in soon. We'll do another call in soon. But is no better way to end that one. Honestly, there's no better way to end it. And we've been on for a good minute. So we got our mission. Okay, we have our mission. We know what we need to be doing. We know that. We got to be strategic. That means we got to know who's even on the ballot. And we need to know who's on the ballot not too late now, so that way we can show up at these meetings. And let's say they're all bad. Let's say they're all bad. If they all bad, then we can still show up at the meetings, y'all. And we can still check them. Because that's not just going to let them know, it's going to let the audience know around them. So that's beneficial. So we got to, there's a lot we can be doing with this. Okay. So, but it does, like I was saying before, it kind of can depend on your area and all that. So certain people, if you from, maybe, like I said, Alabama, Mississippi, it might be a little bit different from Chicago and New York, but everybody got to do what they got to do. Some people just going to sit out. Hey, I'm not telling nobody what to do except to be strategic. All right. That's what we need to be doing. Well, boy, BX always calling me out publicly, ain't she? She always, BX will hold me. I will give her that. She will hold me accountable every single time. And there's no shame in that. She like, Afro, you didn't come to my meeting. You said you was coming. I'm sorry. You can't even say, you just feel caught. She just got that. You said you was going to be there. You just shrug your shoulder. I'm sorry. I overslept. My bad. Oh, that's funny. But boy, yeah, she be on it. But yeah. Yeah, she be on it. All right. But yeah. Let me get to these super chats though. Let me see. Who's the next person? I think it was this. This was the super chat, Eve. So shout out to Eve. Eve says, great coverage of the convention, and this channel shines a bright light on FBA and on America, period. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. And I appreciate your support. Shout out to everybody. Shout out to New York, Melrose, everybody in the chat room. Then Cynthia says, sending the biggest shout out to Melrose. Thank you, brilliant black man, for keeping it real and raw. Hey, he was short, quick to the point, and as you saw, it's not like he had all day to figure out what to say. He didn't even know he was going to speak. But he got in there. He didn't ramble. He didn't have to curse nobody out, I mean, on the spot, and executed perfectly. Okay, Curtis says we have to file paperwork against all raccoons and tethers to cease and desist for undermining our right to the pursuit of happiness. I like that. Our right to the pursuit of happiness. And really a crime. Yeah. We can't, all of these misrepresentate, all of the hate crimes really that we get and the constant harassment. We can make a case like, honestly, these people, these are not good people for our mental health, all that talking about us online and everything that they do. I like that idea. Okay. Leave no stone left unturned. Why can I not say that? It's like that's a tongue twister and it's not. I don't know why I can't say it. Leave no stone left unturned. That's not a tongue twister, but I don't know why it's not working. Okay, Farquan sends another super sticker. Thank you very much. And then B Bebe says, yes, give us old people a break. I'm gonna give y'all some grace. I love y'all. Give y'all some grace. We didn't have social media. The aunties are here to support. And I'm 52 years old. Look, I ain't gonna beat you up. I ain't gonna do it. She said, give the old people some grace. We're gonna give them some grace. Okay, that's what we're gonna do. All right, and then we have the other one from Tom Slick. He says, oh, this was the question from Melrose, saying, do you have a page, something we can't travel? So some of us can't travel, but can donate, they can donate. It costs money to move. Yeah, that's true. Well, you go to Melrose on YouTube, Melrose Radio on YouTube, and then you can, follow his social media, various social medias, Instagram, TikTok, all that. So that's what that is. That's what we're doing. Shout out to the Cash Apps from, let me see. Boy, come on now. Don't you hate it when your phone, you got a bunch of notifications? I gotta get better at that. You got a bunch of notifications, and then you just at the bottom, and you gotta scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll to find that one. I hate when that happens. Okay, but shout out to the Cash Apps though. From asking me to update. No, I'm not about to do all that. Shout out to for salty brawls in okay. Oh, okay. Shout out to Amari. I appreciate Amari. Thank you very much. All right. Shout out to y'all. Much respect to y'all. I didn't do a call-in show in April, and I meant to. Slipped my mind. There was a lot of stuff going on, so it slipped my mind. So we definitely gonna be, I guess we got to do more call-ins, right? So we definitely gonna be doing that, because I definitely want to allow people to weigh in. Now, I'm not saying that all of our call-ins is gonna be an hour and a half, because every time I do a call-in, we do it like a 3-hour live. So sometimes we might just do a quick 1 hour, get in, get out. I just be trying to allow as many people to come in and weigh in on the subject as possible, because I know y'all got some stuff y'all want to say. But like, if we do it more frequently, it's not gonna be we going on for 4 hours. We ain't gonna do that every time, y'all. So just letting y'all know, but save the number, so that way you can, if you know what we calling in, y'all can call in. Plus, I want to give a thank you, because we launched a short video, like a 20-minute video, and that's doing pretty good, considering I ain't launched that in months, right? So that's doing pretty good. So I want to thank you all for that. So that way, the algorithm can pick up that a lot of people are receptive to that. So that way we can start pushing more of that type of content. So I appreciate that. Y'all really did y'all big one with that. So I appreciate that. Shout out to everybody. And with that being said, family, that will conclude tonight. I appreciate that. Y'all make sure y'all do me a solid. Can y'all leave a comment? Let me know what y'all think about Al Sharpton's response. Let me know what y'all think about what our brother Melrose had to say. Let me know what y'all think about it. What's going on this midterms, y'all? Had the Democrats looking what they gonna do. Let me know what y'all think in the comment section below. While y'all doing that, y'all can hit that like button and all of that stuff. Hit that subscribe button if you don't mind, and the notification bell if you just so happen to be interested. Do all of that, because all of that stuff does help the channel. It really does. It helps us grow. It helps more people find us. It helps the message spread. So all of that is very beneficial. All right. And thank you guys for already doing that, if you guys have done that. So thank you guys. All right. And as always, my brothers and my sisters, Black first to every single last one of y'all. Black empowerment is what we do every day, all day. Now, with that being said, I got to go. I will see you all soon, and you all have a good one.